to you by Ford Motor Company on behalf of your Ford and Mercury dealers from coast to coast. The Bank of Nova Scotia with nearly 1,000 branches across Canada to serve you. Canadian General Electric, progress for people since 1882. And by Molson, Canada's name in beer since 1786. Brewers of Molson Golden. Hockey Night in Canada welcomes viewers from coast to coast to Maple Leaf Gardens as the Montreal Canadiens are here to play the Toronto Maple Leafs. What a way to go into the Challenge Cup break. The crowd at the Gardens waiting for this traditional battle, the best the NHL has to offer. Over the years, the Canadiens and the Leafs have seldom played a dull game. 582 times played, the Canadiens hold the edge. And the Leafs would like a psychological victory tonight to break the Montreal domination since Roger Nielsen has been Toronto coach. With us tonight, Bob Cole will call the play-by-play. Brian McFarland and Dick Irvin will be with him in the booth, and Howie Meeker will provide the highlights. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dave Hodge. As said, the Leafs have never beaten the Canadiens under Coach Roger Nielsen. Not in exhibitions, not in regular season, not in playoffs. And there are 9 All-Star players who will be on the ice tonight at Maple Leaf Gardens with All-Star coach Scotty Bowman behind the Montreal bench. In our intermissions, the first intermission, we will introduce you visually to many of the Soviet Union stars that will be playing next week in New York. In our second intermission, we will have Old Timers Showdown. It'll be Andy Bathgate, Gump Worsley, and who's that fella in the Leaf uniform? It was Howie Meeker. You'll see him twice tonight in action. So we're looking forward to a great evening, and we look forward to next week as well. There'll be plenty of Challenge Cup discussion taking place tonight as we watch what should be a great game. For more of that, Brian McFarland and Dick Irvin.
Well, it's a real pleasure to welcome Dick Irvin, the Montreal color commentator and broadcaster, to our gondola. He'll be the third man tonight. And Dick, the Canadiens come in here. They've been rolling along in high gear as usual, but a little bit hard hit with injuries lately.
It's surprising, Brian. You can't alibi. The fans can't say it's hurt the Canadiens. Really, they've lost, I think, 4 times in the last 3 months. But one thing Scotty Bowman did mention today is the fact that with Mario Tremblay, now he's out tonight. He's got the flu. With so many regular players out, he doesn't have the flexibility in his lineup he likes. And I know what he was getting at, because he loves coaching against Roger Nielsen. Not the fact that he hasn't been beaten by Roger yet, that they will come, I'm sure, but he appreciates the way that Nielsen coaches against Montreal. He said to me once, he tries everything, and that's right up Scotty's alley.
Well, Scotty tries everything, too. In fact, we might see a lot of line changes out there tonight, a lot of combinations. What about the injuries now? Guy Lapointe is one. You mentioned Tremblay. How about the others?
Well, Jacques Lemaire and Dougie Risebrough both out with shoulder injuries. They should be back. Those 3, they'll all be back, I guess, when the Canadiens play again in regular season competition after the All-Star break. But you know, it's incredible that a fellow like Jacques Lemaire's been out since the 6th of December. He's such a valuable player to this hockey team, and yet, as you say, the team just keeps rolling along, and especially Guy Lafleur.
And Steve Shutt is back from an injury. Is he 100% now?
Played very well. In the 4 games that he has been back since he had the bad wrist, he has amassed 10 points, so that's not bad. They'll miss Mario Tremblay tonight, Brian. In the last few games, the line of Reggie Hull at center ice between Lambert and Tremblay has been playing very well for Montreal. In fact, really, I think carrying the team up front as a line. Mario has to be the most improved player in the team. He came down with the flu, and he's not in uniform tonight.
How about the big man in goal? How's he playing, Dryden?
I think that Ken Dryden right now, Brian, is playing as well as I have ever seen him play. You look at his record. It's, you know, a 3-goal game against is an oddity. He's had 1 against for the most part for the last few weeks, and I think that he has just played, up to now anyway, super hockey.
It was impossible to get a ticket for this hockey game tonight. There's Dryden in goal, and you've heard the cheer that roared through this building when these teams stepped out here. There's always something special about a Montreal-Toronto hockey game.
I think that's because you and I grew up with the Canadiens and or the Leafs, Brian, but you know, it's funny. I don't care where you are. If you're here in Toronto or you're in Montreal, when the visiting team scores, sometimes you're not sure which building you're in, because both teams get good support in the other fellow's rink.
Well, the support is growing, and the fans are ready. We're ready. The teams are almost ready. So let's pause now for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
ladies and gentlemen, there are your officials for tonight. Andy Van Helleman, the referee, Bob Hodges, and Leon Stickle, the two linesmen. And in the goal tonight for Montreal Canadiens, Ken Dryden. His goals against a sparkling 2.16. And the great little goaltender for Toronto Maple Leafs down at the other end is Mike Palmateer. Average 2.96. So hopefully two hot goalies, two teams that are really up. And we welcome fans from all over this great country for this game at Maple Leaf Gardens tonight as Robinson gives it to Chartrand. Chartrand to Robinson, and the Canadiens will move it now to center. From center ice, it's cleared in. Napier going after it. He and Maloney bump together in the corner. And it's Salming for Toronto. Out in front of his own net. That's a good pass for Maloney. McKechnie let it go by for Ellis. Back to Maloney. And his shot was knocked away by Chartrand, who fell in front of it. Great action as the game starts. And Gainey shoots it in. Back to the Leaf net. Here's Ellis again. He whipped it outside the line, and Robinson takes over. McKechnie watching him. Chartrand's pass slides into the Leaf zone. It goes in over the red line. Icing called against Montreal.
I don't know if the experiment's over for tonight or not.
The face-off coming up now, deep in the Canadian zone. That's Sittler at center with Stamler and McDonald on the wings. Kenville, number 3 on the defense for Toronto Maple Leafs, along with Ian Turnbull. They're parked just inside the blue line. Dryden standing at the edge of the crease, getting set there, cuts right back, and the shot is blocked at the Canadian defense. It's cleared down as Engblom got in the way of it. And here's Stamler. He's number 12. Nearly lost it to Réjean Houle. But McDonald is away to center. He was tied up by Houle and knocked to the ice. Back for Canadiens. This is Lambert through the middle. He got in over the line, tried to go all the way, and was tied up from behind. Then the Leafs just cleared it to center ice. Cleared over the glass into the crowd to the left of Mike Palmateer. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada. Darryl Sittler at the Leaf bench, getting a new stick for his next shift. And for the Leafs now on this one, Salming has been moved up to play center ice. He's waved off the face-off spot. Williams took the draw. In goes Anderson. Anderson for Toronto. Can't get a shot away. Williams took a whack at it. Now down goes Salming in the corner. And he lost it. Savard for Canadiens. On the boards, it's not out. Hutchinson blocked it. But he's got a chance. That low shot is wide of the net. Now it's cleared by Connor. Rink wide for Houle. He shoots it in wide of the Maple Leaf goal. Connor went in to try to intercept, but it was Palmateer who cleared it. Williams for Toronto to center, a good move as he cleared it in. And Dryden steps back there to whip it up on the boards. Now the Leafs are forechecking. Back of the net, the Canadiens trying to stop the play. Williams goes in on the boards, and they get a whistle, but the Leafs are forechecking very effectively.
Roger Nielsen making some surprise moves already, Dick. I don't know whether you've seen Salming play center ice before, but he had Williams out there too, and sometimes he'll play center.
I don't know. These coaches like to do that in this day of the mobile defenseman. Brian, Larry Robinson has played a fair bit as a forward for the Canadiens, and as you mentioned, we looked at Salming as he leaves now, taking that face-off. I think we all kind of did a double take that time.
He played a marvelous game against St. Louis here Wednesday night. Just marvelous.
Now for Canadiens. That's Mondeau into the face-off spot against Darryl Sittler, Toronto. Shot into Lafleur in the wings. The shot is dribbled in wide of the net, and it's cleared off the boards. Kenville stopped it, but here come the Canadiens. Mondeau and Shutt looking for the pass. It did not come, and Shutt was in across the line, offside as Mondeau carried behind him.
In the crowd tonight, Punch Imlach coming out of hibernation after the ouster from Buffalo. Punch says that's a closed chapter in his life, but he may open another chapter in hockey very shortly.
2:10 gone in the first period. There's no score. Toronto and Montreal. Lafleur tried to trap a pass. Kenville gets it to center ice and shoots it in over the Canadian line. Going in after it, it's Stamler. And they hold it on the boards just in behind Ken Dryden. And once again, we get a whistle for a face-off in the Montreal zone.
Salming suffered a severe eye injury in the playoffs against the Islanders last year. As a result, he wears that protective visor. And he'll be a big gun in the Challenge Cup Series in New York next week.
Well, Roger Nielsen told me just before tonight's game, Brian, that he would likely be using Salming quite a bit up front tonight. And as we mentioned already, he has been up at center ice on one shift. So you can look for Salming to move up. And I would imagine the big fellow can handle that.
Oh, yes.
Excellent skater and a great shot. McKechnie is at center for the Leafs now with Ellis and Maloney. And it's Guy Lafleur, the Leafs leading scorer, taking over to clear it down the ice. Coming back is Hutchison. Gainey after him. Hutchison back of the net. Here he comes. He was stopped by Gainey. He goes right on with Jarvis trying to center it. He did. Chardroit took a shot. And that's blocked by Paul Matier. Ellis trying to get it across that blue line, and he failed. Now the Canadians take it to the Leafs and come in for checking. They sent 2 men in deep. Chardroit couldn't stop it. Jarvis did. Lafleur couldn't knock down the high pass. He got away from Hutchison's check. He threw it right at him. And Lafleur just moved out in time. Here's Robinson. He's being bothered by big Walt McKechnie. Deep in the Canadian zone. No score nearing the 4-minute mark of the first period. And again, they're checking closely in that Canadian zone, and they hold it on the boards. Tonight's game is coming. Look for a new face on the right wing now for the Montreal Canadiens, wearing number 32. Dave Lumley is dressed for this game. He's out there now. On the right side with Pierre LaRouche at center. That's Lumley making the play to center ice. Engblom couldn't move it in across the line. Here's Salming trying to break away. Salming's backhand shot was weak and wide of the Canadian goal. Canadians try to move it out. It bounces over the glass into the crowd.
Special visitor at Maple Leaf Gardens tonight, Frank Selke Sr., the man who helped build Maple Leaf Gardens, along with the Major, Conn Smythe, who was at the Sports Celebrities Dinner the other night. A little flare up there, Dick. What happened? Did you see that?
I was looking at Mr. Selke, Brian, as you were. There he is again, watching as Bob Gainey, the winner of the Frank Selke Trophy, performs here tonight. You know, Mr. Selke Sr. attends so many games in Montreal, and it's just great to see him. And I tell you, when you can talk hockey, he talks hockey. It's just wonderful.
Salming is at center ice again with Williams and Anderson for Toronto. Kenville flipped it into the corner, and Salming is back after it. Engblom after him. Here's Anderson with it. He centered it. Salming fanned on that attempt, and it's cleared to center ice. Coming down, Lumley. He got in over the line, was broken up by Kenville and cleared, and LaRouche left it at his own blue line. Connor shoots it in for Canadians at the 4-minute mark of the first period. And there's no score in this hockey game yet. Here come the Leafs now to the line. Salming couldn't hang on to the pass. Once again, it's cleared by Salming down the ice. Anderson nearly got away on that attempt. Here's Salming once more with Williams. Williams takes the shot, and that's knocked away. Williams again, and he let it go wide. There's a penalty coming up against the Montreal Canadiens. It's cleared by Paul Matier as he was racing for the bench. They had 6 of them on there now. Anderson, and the shot is wide. It's kept in. The Canadiens finally get control. But I'll tell you, the Leafs have come to play hockey tonight. For the first penalty coming up against Montreal. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Maple Leaf Gardens.
First penalty of the hockey game goes to Montreal's Brian Engblom here at 4:34 for hooking.
And the Leafs have Sittler at center ice with McDonald and McKechnie. Turnbull, and back of the line, Wilson. Gainey chasing Wilson, who gives it to Turnbull. From center ice, his long pass is a good one for Sittler. Dropping it to McKechnie. And his backhand shot is wide to the far post. Canadians shorthanded now. Here's McDonald coming in. Took a drive. That hit the side of the net with Dryden covering up on the angle. Turnbull cleared it into the corner. McKechnie with Robinson bumping with him. And big Robinson shoots it down the ice. A minute and 30 seconds left in the Canadian penalty. This is Turnbull lining it up for Toronto. His pass goes to the left side, and it's McDonald across center. McDonald shoots it in, and stopping it back of the net is Dryden getting it away from Sittler, but McKechnie had it momentarily. Then Gainey, a penalty penalty killer for Montreal with Jarvis. Got it up to center ice. No score in this first period. The Leafs on a power play. Turnbull on the boards for Sittler. Sittler's pass, he had to hurry it. It's cleared by Robinson to center ice. Now back in for Wilson. He feeds it over for Sittler. Sittler had a stick lifted, couldn't make a play. And it's cleared out by Lambert. 45 seconds left in the Montreal penalty. Here's Sittler again with McKechnie going off on a change. Here's Turnbull in with McDonald. He had it knocked away, and it's cleared out to center ice by Jarvis. Turnbull looking for that hole, gets over the line. Turnbull winds up, couldn't get the shot away. Lambert got in front, and here's a chance right in front. Sittler's first chance, a little scramble, and it went by Sittler on a second try. The Leafs staying on top of it on this power play, but unable to get good action in front of Dryden. Now it's cleared down the ice with just 10 seconds left in the Montreal penalty. Here's Turnbull up for Maloney. It went by him, and the Canadians will kill the penalty as they shoot it down the ice again. And now the penalty is over. Engblom is back on from the penalty box. The Leafs coming back. It's Ellis at center ice, had it knocked away. Here comes Schutt with Lafleur. Schutt had it knocked off his stick by Hutchison. The Leafs race the other way. At center, it's fed ahead to Ellis. Coming up behind the play, Hutchison. Oh, and he was belted on the boards. Over there, a hard check thrown at Hutchison. They begin to get physical now. There's no score at the 7-minute mark of the period. Lafleur trying to find some room and can't find it. The Leafs shoot it in over the line. Salming went in, but Robinson cleared it to center. Now here's Lafleur for Canadians. Going in with Mondu. The shot, a hot drive. That's knocked down. Lafleur went after it. Lafleur tried to jam it in front for Schutt and just failed. Now here's Chartrand. Screen shot. Hit the side of the net. Canadians with some pressure on now. Having killed the only penalty of the game so far. Robinson played it ahead. Here's Lafleur. Had it knocked away. They're checking him closely. 7.5 minutes gone in the first period. It's scoreless. As Boutet comes in for Toronto. Boutet looking for someone to help him. Boutet bumped on the boards and Lafleur just pushed it up to center. Burroughs gave it to Hutchison. He shoots one in. Riding out of the net. It hit somebody and changed direction. But Dryden covered up and Robinson tries to gallop out. He got to center, then had it knocked off his stick. Robinson then overskated it. The Leafs starting out again from their own zone. Boutet couldn't handle that hot pass. It goes down the ice. Icing called as Engblom goes back to pick it up.
Brian, the games, as you mentioned, were close, but I can't recall in either of the two games before this season the Leafs coming out against Bob Gainey, who you're looking at now, and Guy Lafleur and the rest of the Canadians as aggressively as they did tonight. Took Montreal over 7 minutes before they had their first real good shot on Palmateer.
The Leafs shoot it down the ice. This will be icing once again as it goes over the line. Engblom once more back to pick it up, and it'll come all the way back into the Leafs zone. A lot of coaches are looking for holes in this Montreal team and unable to find them, we might say. But some have, and the Leafs are certainly spirited tonight. They seem to be really up for this game. 8 minutes and 20 seconds gone in the first period. No score. Engblom takes a low shot. That's in wide of the Leaf net. Toronto will clear it out to the line and over to center ice. Here they come. This is Butler going in, driving for the net. Can't get the backhander away. He was pushed around back there. The Canadians will bring it out this time to center ice. And it's Newman going in, but he made that extra move at the blue line, and Napier was offside.
Yvon Lambert has 9 points in his last 10 games. He's been playing well. And Lafleur coming in for a lot of attention here tonight. Earlier, Dick, Hutchison took a little bit of a run at him. Maloney's been checking him hard.
I have to ask you a question, and for the benefit of those of us from Montreal, has Salming played center much, or is this something new to you?
Well, a few times this year. You'll see him up there at center ice.
And there he is, Borje Salming, number 21 for Toronto Maple Leafs at center with Williams and Anderson. Turnbull back to the net and starting out to Anderson. He missed the pass. It goes down the ice. Dryden 30 feet out. Slapped it on the boards and gets cleared by Anderson. Net is empty. Here's a chance. And it's just wide of the net. Williams came awfully close. There's another penalty coming up against the Montreal Canadiens as the sticks go high. Now Chartrand and Williams look as if they might go at it.
Williams got his stick up high against Chartres after missing on his shot, with Dryden frantically trying to get back into the net. Now Williams, who's 25 years old today, complains to referee Andy Van Hellemond. I think he wants another little round two, perhaps, with Chartres. He didn't blow the candles out, Dick. He blew them right off the cake.
Look, Chartres has been playing as a regular on defense of late, and tonight he was the one who nailed Hutchison with that check earlier in the game. And here's the replay now. Brian, Ken Dryden has been wandering more this season than I've ever seen him before. He came out almost to the blue line one night against the Boston Bruins. He would never do that through until this season. There's the chance Williams had, just wide of the net.
With a score, Montreal nothing.
Sticking. Williams got a minor and a 10-minute misconduct. That all came at 9:03 into this first period. Scoreless at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Brian, I'm wondering, the Williams misconduct was kind of obvious because he really went after Van Hellemond, but the Leafs are arguing. I don't think Scotty's going to say much. The penalty call on the delay was against Montreal, but if you noticed, Van Hellemond blew the whistle when the Leafs had control of the puck. That's what caused some confusion. I think that's what you've got Sittler and Salming arguing about right now. The delay was against the Canadians. It was hard to tell with all of that action around the net.
League's leading penalty collector in the penalty box came into this game tonight with 232 minutes, closing in on 250. And we mentioned again is Tiger's birthday today. Folks at Queen's University, and Harry knows it.
So do the folks in Weyburn, Saskatchewan.
Yeah. Swift Current, he calls it Speedy Creek. Williams in the penalty box, Bob Cole, was just gesturing again at Chartres with his hockey stick.
Here's Hutchison's shot right from the draw, and it's knocked down in front of Dryden. The Leafs coming in again, another shot. This is stopped by Savard. Here's Gainey coming out for Montreal. A long pass ahead didn't get there for Jarvis, and the Canadians will start all over again at their own line. Savard hands it off. Wengblom. Here's Gainey speeding in, and he can really motor. Gainey going in, and it knocked away at the last second as he tried to sweep it around Paul Matier. There's no score nearing the halfway mark of the first period, and the Leafs are coming out. Burroughs has to go back again. Takes a good look around, gives it to Ellis. Ellis just inside his own line, and Gainey right there ties him up. The puck comes loose, though. Burroughs gives it to Hutchison. Up with McKechnie and down with Ellis. Ellis has to look for it. It went behind him and Dryden out of the net again. And it poked away by Ellis. He gives it back to Burroughs. He gets the shot. That went by McKechnie and the Montreal goal. And it's cleared out over the line. Hutchison brought it in. He couldn't hold it. And the Leafs are offside.
Take a look at the individual penalty leaders around the league. Williams now up to 244 minutes. That includes the 12 minutes he just picked up here tonight.
Here LaRouche at center ice for Montreal. Used rather sparingly by Scotty Bowman, but he's out there now as he comes down with Robinson. Robinson comes to this side, decides to go back with it. Robinson in the center ice area, looking for somewhere to move. He nearly got through, tried to drop it in behind him and failed, and the Leafs break it up. Clearing it to center ice as Butler shooting it in. Boutet going in after Savard. They bumped lightly in the corner. Turnbull didn't see it, and Butler kept it in. Now Lafleur had a chance to move it and couldn't. Boutet in the center ice area. Good play for Turnbull. Turnbull cutting for the net. He centered it. The pass went behind Boutet, and Robinson comes out looking for Lafleur. He can't reach it. Fleur back near center, and he was bumped hard by Boutet on the far side. Here's Lafleur. He had it poked off his stick again. And it's cleared by LaRouche up over the line. And there's a penalty coming up against Toronto Maple Leafs. A tripping call by Andy Van Hellemond to Turnbull. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Pierre LaRouche, who once picked up 53 goals and 111 points with Pittsburgh in 75-76, tripped up here by Ian Turnbull at 11:05.
So Turnbull is off. No score in this first period. Sittler got the draw near the line, though Robinson kept it in. His pass nowhere near Uhl. And it's Salming for Toronto to Sittler at center. Solomon and McDonald up with him. Solomon took the shot. Didn't get good wood on it. And it trickled wide of the net. Uhl coming out with Lambert. Didn't see him as he made the pass. Solomon lost his stick, as you can see. Just kicked it back to center ice very coolly. And he gets a big hand from the fans. They love him here in Toronto.
Well, they play soccer, too, in Sweden, I guess.
That's a new one. But it doesn't surprise anybody who's watched him play. On the scoreboard, Pittsburgh has defeated Detroit. That was an afternoon game. And also St. Louis over Colorado 6-3, another final. Tonight, Boston and Islanders scoreless first period.
For the Canadians, Jarvis with Gainey, Robinson and Savard. And the Leafs, McDonald stopped by Robinson. He'll try it again. Hands it back near center. Wilson comes in for Toronto. Stick handling inside the line. Sittler in back of the goal after it. Sittler takes a look. He's tied up by Savard and can't make a play. Now he gets loose. Comes in front, but Gainey just tipped it out to center ice. Salming sweeps inside his own line with McDonald getting the pass and giving it back to him. Here's Salming coming out. Moves away from Gainey. Didn't know he had that hole and then cleared it ahead. Wilson coming down with Sittler, and McDonald gets the pass. Up over the line he goes. McDonald stopped by Savard, caught up to him, and it was cleared down the ice by Savard. Nearing the 13-minute mark of the first period. No score in this game yet. And here's Salming moving away from Uhl. Salming in with a shot, and that's deflected by Robinson, and it goes way up high into the crowd behind the Canadian net.
McDonald got the end of Savard's stick up in the face area, but he stayed out there for the rest of the shift. Now he's turned away from the bench. There's the replay, Dick.
Fortunately, no damage done. Brian, we're seeing some pretty good defensive plays tonight at both blue lines. The Leafs had some pressure on early, but Larry Robinson in particular for Montreal, and I thought Dave Hutchison has made 2 or 3 excellent moves at the Toronto line. That's why the scoring chances have been few and far between.
McKechnie, number 11 at center ice for Toronto. Maloney on the left side. They get the draw, but the Canadians. Engblom takes over, comes out with Lambert, decides to go back again. Had it knocked away by McKechnie. A good forechecker for Toronto. McKechnie chasing it in the corner now, but Lambert was there first. Coming in on this side is Maloney. In against Engblom. Look out, they bump hard. The puck comes loose to Uhl. Now McKechnie steals it. McKechnie in back of the net. Savard caught up to him. McKechnie trying to get loose. He's knocked down by Savard. The fans calling for maybe a penalty. It doesn't come. And a face-off coming up in the Canadian zone.
Big guns for the Leafs in the Challenge Cup Series coming up. Darryl Sittler and Lanny McDonald. Sittler, Dick, missed 10 games. He had that knee damage done earlier on, but he's in great form again now.
Well, Scotty was talking about that in the plane this morning, saying how the Leafs didn't do that badly without Sittler. Once they hit the road, they had a pretty good trip, and he said since Darryl has come back, of course, it's made just that much more of a difference. He's had a good record.
I'll tell you who likes to play out there with them, and he's not doing it tonight so far, is John Anderson. He really flies when he gets out on that line.
7 minutes remaining in this first period. And it started at a fast pace. Penalties have tended to slow it down a little bit, but they're still driving hard in the forechecking role. The Leafs with McKechnie at center ice. And Anderson, number 10 on the right wing, and Savard has it from the corner. The Canadians try to move it out and can't. McKechnie kept it in. Along the boards it goes. Chartrand back to his own net. Anderson bumped with him. Now Gainey tries to get going, and Maloney ran into Gainey. 2 big ones colliding just inside the Canadian line. Now it comes to center ice. Maloney feeds it back. Hutchison, a pass to McKechnie, had it knocked away by Chartrand. Good move to center. Chartrand's pass, though, stopped by McKechnie. In with Maloney. They bump together, and Maloney has to race for it, but Big Robinson was over there early, and he cleared it. Now Hutchison brings it in for Toronto. Here's Hutchison's shot. A low shot wide of the Canadian net. Canadians having some difficulty trying to move it out. And Shutt with Robinson. Robinson has it. Knocked away. Now Shutt backs up inside his own blue line. 6 minutes left of the period. No score. Here's Shutt straight across center. Shutt all alone on this play. Now here's Mondu catching up. Mondu centered it. Lafleur's covered in front. Back for Toronto. As as Burrows racing in. He just pushed one off to the corner and Dryden out of the net cleared it. Lafleur couldn't get it though. The Leafs keep it in. Robinson stopping behind the goal. Takes a look. Now Lafleur comes back to wind up with him. And Lafleur dropping it to Robinson. Here he comes. Out to Chartrand to Lafleur at center. Here's Lafleur in full flight. He was jammed out of the play and knocked down by Kenville, who played the man all the way. Robinson from center. Takes a look. Nearly lost it. The Canadians try to slash it in, but Kenville comes back. Had it stopped by Mondeau. Mondeau takes a look to the far side. Lafleur ripped it on the boards, and it goes in. Back of the Toronto net is Turnbull. He put it right on Mondeau's stick, then caught up with him and stopped him while Butler cleared it down the ice. 4:55 left in the period and no score. Here's Kenville. He waits. Now his shot went off the Canadian player, Newman, and it's cleared down the ice by the Leafs. Once again, Connor put it right on a Leaf stick. Sittler set it up in front. McDonald couldn't handle it. McDonald bumped by Savard. McDonald and Sittler have it for Toronto. Sittler to Stamler. It comes back to Kenville. Kenville took a shot and hit Connor, who had fallen in front of it. And it's cleared now by Robinson. He puts on some speed. He comes up over the line. Robinson trying to go in. And the Leafs break it up. The Leafs shoot it out over the line. It's cleared back in by Montreal with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left in the period. And no score in a hockey game. Leafs just move it to center. Now Sittler. He comes across the line. Sittler takes a look. Comes right back to him off Savard's skate. Comes over in front, but the Canadians bring it out. Connor's long pass down too far for Newman. And Hutchison stopped by Newman on the boards. McDonald back to help. Here's Sittler with McDonald's pass going to center, and Uhl took it away. Régent Uhl coming in. He got over the line, and the Leafs are checking very closely inside the line, and Salming is putting on a show now. Salming's pass up on the right wing is stopped by Lambert, who played it in, and the Canadians are called on the offside.
The Russians are coming, the all-stars of the Soviet Major League, led by Harlamov, Tretiak, and Vasilyev, to play the NHL All-Stars in a hockey first. Be with us at Madison Square Garden for all 3 games of the Challenge Cup, the series of the century.
3 minutes and 29 seconds left in the first period. No score, Toronto and Montreal. And in parts, it has been rather physical. Look at this one, for instance. Maloney and Gainey. They're not kidding. Now we're set in the center ice area. Salming got the draw, but the Canadians, Engblom, played it up near the line. Hutchison couldn't get very far. Here's Uhl coming in. Uhl took a shot, and that's stopped by Paul Matier. The Leafs try to bring it out. Boutet cleared it on the boards to center ice, and Savard just gave it to Engblom. He shoots it in on the boards. The Canadians moving after it. Napier looking for it. And they hold it. Lambert got a stick in there, and they get a whistle for a face-off in the Leaf zone.
Well, checking has been the story of this period, and we mentioned how tough it was to get a ticket for this game tonight. And the lucky youngsters who get in here are really seeing some great hockey.
Uhl for Montreal, getting the wave to the bench now, so Scotty Bowman making changes for this face-off with just 3:03 left in the period and no score. I don't know, Brian and Dick, not many real good scoring chances so far. Look, there's one right from the draw that went just wide. They're watching each other ever so closely in this opening period. Wright goes down on one knee, hooked it away for Robinson. Robinson's pass comes across the line at center and cleared in. LaRouche going after it. LaRouche takes a look, beats it in front. And the Leafs again, once more, cover up down the center it goes. Salming trying to break in. Salming and around the net. He's knocked down from behind. You'll hear the fans jump on this one. Here's Salming out front, shoots, scores! Salming, I'll tell you, has been putting on a show for every shift he's been on the ice, and that was strictly a solo job.
All the way with Hutchison, another defenseman, parked right on the goal crease stick. Salming came from behind after the fans were trying to help referee Van Hellemond called a penalty for tripping. He whistled it by Dryden.
Well, that was the case when, as Howie might say, the Canadians didn't finish the check. Chartres had Salming back of the net to let him get away. And Salming made the play as he fired that one literally going the other way. But they had a couple of cracks at him. He got away and scored. Great play by Salming. That's as nice as individual effort as I've seen this year.
Hutchison right in there with him, right in front of Dryden. So the Leafs score first. When they score the first goal, their record is 16-4-7.
17:30, the time of the goal by Salming, and what an effort by Borje Salming. 1-0, Toronto. Maloney played one up to the Canadian line. Lafleur poked it to the far side, and Turnbull, who was checked on the play, just flipped it into the Canadian zone. Robinson right in front of his own net against McKechnie. That was close. Shot out for Lafleur. The pass was behind Lafleur. He decides to go back in his own zone. Now to Robinson, and he ran into Kenville at center ice and gave the Leaf defenseman quite a jolt. Here's Robinson coming back in his own zone. Ellis going in to watch him. Robinson's pass, Kenville falling, slipped it ahead, but it's Mondeau and Lafleur coming in with shot. Here's Lafleur shooting, and a hard shot went wide. Chartres bumped by Maloney. Palmateer out of the net. Kenville up on the boards for Maloney. He tries to move it out and does. It goes to Robinson. 1:25 left in the period. Lafleur trying to find some room, and that's not easy out there tonight. Lafleur dropping back near his own blue line. Up for Robinson. Robinson trying to set up Lafleur again. Sittler stole it, and he just missed McDonald with the lead pass. Now Newman for Canadians. Montreal coming down across center. Jarvis gets set with a long shot. It's juggled by Palmateer. Stamler moved it out across the line off his skate. Caught up to it himself. Now they bump it along the boards, and Robinson just feeds it back to Savard. 45 seconds left in the period. 1-0 Toronto. Here's a chance for Connor. Breaking for the net. He was bumped by Stamler, who got back to break it up. Sittler takes over for the Leafs to McDonald. It goes flying over the boards near the Maple Leaf bench, and the play is called. From the face-off, here's Salming again, who got the Leaf goal and really lifted the crowd here at Maple Leaf Gardens. Here he comes. Salming breaking out of his own zone to center, a long pass down to McDonald. McDonald racing in with 20 seconds left in the period. McDonald can't center it. Boutet just pushed it, and it went in behind the net. It comes in front again. Sittler stole it back there. The Canadians get to center ice. Connor's long shot, gloved by Palmateer. That'll do it in the period as Salming has it back there. With 3 seconds left, Boutet takes a look at the clock, and the bell goes to end a pretty good first period of hockey with a standout performance by Borje Salming. He got the goal on a solo effort. And so the score at the end of the first period is Toronto 1, Montreal 0.
More closely at some of the Soviet players. The Soviet national team, International Ice Hockey Federation World Champions, Boris Mikhailov, captain and a veteran of international play, a real leader in the Bobby Clarke mold. Vladimir Petrov, another veteran and a strong centerman, good on the attack and also defensively. Valery Harlamov, the dynamic winger capable of tremendous individual efforts, who along with Mikhailov and Petrov plays on one of the most effective forward lines in Soviet history. Sergei Kapustin, another electrifying winger and reputedly the fastest skater on the Soviet team. Viktor Zhluktov, Kapustin's center, and a real charger who'll go right at you if he can't get around you. Helmut Balderas on a line with Kapustin and Zhluktov, one of the most exciting players in hockey today. And this is Vladimir Golikov, one of 2 Golikov brothers who play together on the same forward line. Sergei Makarov centers the Golikov brothers, filling in for the injured Alexander Maltsev. Alexander Golikov at 26, 2 years older than his brother Vladimir. Moving to the defense, Valery Vasilyev, one of the strongest men in hockey anywhere, always plays well against North American pros. Gennady Vladi Segenkov, another veteran Soviet defenseman, very good along the boards, tough in the corners. Zinatula Bilyaletinov, a name that strikes fear in the hearts of English play-by-play broadcasters, a good defenseman. And in goal, the familiar Vladislav Tretiak, the backbone of the Soviet national team for many years. Best when the pressure is on, and NHL players know that well. Some Soviet stars that we'll see next week in the Challenge Cup. Great hockey players, all of them, and we're looking forward, along with you, to watching them play next week at Madison Square Garden in New York. When I said that Howie Meeker was here with highlights tonight, I should explain that that is quite a piece of work. The winning team gets this, not sure for how long, but that's what they'll be playing for next week in New York, the official NHL Challenge Cup. Now, Howie Meeker is with us, and we're awaiting eagerly to find out what you think about this series and what might happen. And we'll also include Brian McFarland and Dick Irvin from the Gondola in our discussion that will take place during the rest of this intermission. Gentlemen, glad to see that you're in position. Howie, before I ask you who's going to win, I really would like to know from your viewpoint, because you've seen so many international games, exactly what sort of a series it'll be in terms of the style of play that we're going to see, because the Russians have changed some since 1972, and presumably the NHL has or has the ability to change as well.
Dave, I don't think they've changed enough or haven't shown me signs of changing enough to consistently, despite their great talent, beat the NHL teams. Now, if they do a little changing of when the NHL players, when they line up and pick up the teams in the blue line, the Russians refuse to shoot it in. They're going to have to shoot it in. Otherwise, the advantage comes to us. The other change has to be, will they check and control the corners? And to my way of thinking, they've never made any effort to control the corners. They want to play the game up the middle of the ice, and they're super good at that, at passing the puck, receiving the pass, and creating the openings, going for the openings, and shooting at the net eye to eye with the goaltender. But to me, are they going to learn to play two different systems? They play offense on one system, and they're going to beat you using that system, or they're not going to beat you. That plays to our advantage. If they change, it's going to be something else.
So you would be surprised, I take it, if the Soviets would win the series?
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. If they make the changes, they stand an excellent chance of winning the series.
But
I just think
you'd have to be surprised if they make the changes, because you haven't seen them do it.
No, but last year I had quite a few bricks thrown at me because I said dumb hockey, and the Soviets aren't dumb. They're very knowledgeable, very skillful people. And I would think they realize that, hey, regardless of how well we play the Canadians and the success that we've had against the Canadians, we have to change our style. And it seems to me, by changing their style, the most important thing is, will they give their players a freedom of thought? They're disciplined, over-disciplined. They're disciplined to the extent that it hurts their advantage of maybe being as skillful as anybody else. But certainly, if they give their players a freedom of thought and change in a couple of areas, it's going to be a good series.
Well, they aren't known for giving their players too many other freedoms, so we'll have to find out. Brian and Dick, I'll tell you what, I think that we can't really know what to expect from this Soviet team, because we haven't seen the best the Soviets have had to offer in this country for a long time, probably not since 1974. The Canada Cup team in '76 certainly wasn't the best. But what are you fellas expecting to see?
Well, Dave, I'd like to let Howie know what an opinion that Serge Savard had the other night. Serge is a thinking man's defenseman, both on and off the ice. And he seems to think that the series next week could be won or lost inside the Soviet blue line. He says if we stay on top of them, he feels this is the biggest weakness the Soviet players have, and especially the Soviet defensemen. He feels that the National Hockey League has got to play almost the way the Leafs came out playing here tonight. They have got to take it to the Soviets inside their blue line. He feels if they do, fine. But as you mentioned, Howie, Savard figures if they get free, if they let them get up the ice, look at it.
Dick, what do you think of the three-game situation? An unusual number for a series like that, and I think it might catch the Canadians off guard because they have to put things together in a very big hurry down there.
Well, it's true. 3 games in 4 days, but Red Fisher put it pretty well, Brian, in our show out of Montreal a couple of weeks ago. He says, let's not use this lack of practice time as an excuse. There are too many pluses going our way. You know, I can fall into that trap, too, and I think about it. Let's kind of just team against team and forget about the whys and wherefores.
Well, this is when we wanted it, mid-season. Let's go back now to Dave.
Howie does want to say more about the play inside the Soviet blue line, and I think that Serge Savard is is absolutely right. Who am I to contradict him? But we'll come back.
We play the Soviets in Madison Square Gardens. It's going to be one of the best series that you're going to see in a while. I hope you tune in.
The Canadians have returned, and the Leafs are now just making their appearance for the start of this second period.
Challenge Cup Series, the series of the century, starts Thursday, February 8th, Madison Square Garden, New York City.
And what a series that's going to be. Don't anybody dare miss it. The shots on goal of the first period in this game tonight, 7 apiece. So they're lining up for the start of the second period. McKechnie comes to center for Toronto and Jarvis for Montreal. The Leafs lead it 1-0 on Salming's goal at 17:30 of the first period, and it's cleared into the Toronto zone. Palmatier back of the net, and Turnbull feeds it off for Ellis. He is stopped. Robinson bumped on the boards by Kenville as he kept it in. Once again, it goes bouncing high and over the glass into the crowd. The right of Palmatier, and it's called. Kenville has been rather physical, I thought, in the first period, and it seems as if he started the second period by bumping.
He had to be satisfied with one check he made on Guy Lafleur. Lafleur tried to finesse his way around, and Kenville took him right out really solidly.
That's Jarvis getting the draw. Back goes to Robinson. His shot hit Connor and bounced wide of the net. This is Maloney around the goal. Kenville couldn't move it out. Maloney couldn't. Robinson's pass to Connor didn't work. Maloney tied him up. And a long pass off to the corner by Jarvis. Ellis for the Leafs right on to Jarvis's stick. He couldn't center it. Chartrand took a shot. That was blocked. Now Jarvis going after Kenville. Kenville to Maloney. And he shoots it down the ice for Toronto. This will be icing as Robinson comes back with 54 seconds gone in the second period. 1-0 Toronto.
I'm very fortunate to be playing. I've been playing most of the time with Serge Savard, and that's been a lot of help for me. I had a little trouble the other night in Pittsburgh, and I don't know if Scotty's going to keep me back there, but I've enjoyed it. I've been there for 3 or 4 games, and it's a different kind of game. But I guess they're happy with the way I've been playing there.
Bob Gainey of Montreal.
Now it's Mondu with Lafleur and shot for Canadians. Engblom and Savard on the defense. This is Burrows for the Leafs. Up to center ice. Off the stick of Stamler. And it's Lafleur making a great move going in with Mondu. Mondu feeds it back to Lafleur. Over it goes. Savard's shot is gloved by Palmatier, and the Leafs just moved it up to center. McDonald then flipped one on the boards. There's Stamler after it, but Lafleur takes over in the Canadian zone. He goes in back of the net. Savard skates to his right slowly now. And it's Lafleur coming this way to Engblom. He was bumped right away by McDonald. Hutchison feeds it back in. Now Savard. A pass went by McDonald's high stick down the center is Mondu. Lafleur catching up. Mondu is stopped by Palmatier. The puck comes loose. Lafleur centered it right in front of the net of Mondu. And Palmatier made a great save. Another shot, they score. Steve's shot on a second and third effort finally got it. A backhander in behind Palmatier.
Well, they had the Leafs scrambling around on that one.
Brian, that's right. The key here is the way the Leafs never did recover from the big pileup after Palmatier first came out. I don't know if Mike ever got back out onto his feet. He tried, he did, but then he got all tangled up again in front of the net. Down he goes. And it was just a case of Steve's shot hanging tough. I tell you, he scores so often on plays like that. He knows where the net is, not much doubt about it. And you'll see right here how shot, with great instinct, just turns around and lets it go right there.
It wasn't a hard shot. He just lobbed it in there. Mondu did a lot of work on that one, trying to set it up. Palmatier caught scrambling. Shutt finally scored. It's a tie hockey game.
Lombier's pass going in. Here's Napier, and he's knocked down. The puck went flying, and there's a penalty coming up against Toronto Maple Leafs. Napier pulled to the ice, and the Leafs will be penalized. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
I don't think there's any question about this one, Dick. Kenville called for a holding here, 2:10 into the second period.
So Kenville is off. And now the Canadians, with the score tied 1-1, have the man advantage, and Robinson slides the pass in to the left of the net. Houle went after it, tried to center it. Lambert went by him, and it's cleared out over the line. Lafleur will wait for the Canadians to come onside, and Robinson now looks for Lafleur, decides to go himself. Robinson circles again. Robinson near center, taking a look to the left side for Lambert and Houle. Here's Houle with it. Houle back for Robinson, shot, they score! I think it went off Turnbull's stick and up over Paul Matier, but nevertheless a power play goal, and the Canadians take a 2-1 lead.
Costly penalty to Joel Kenville. The Canadians strike quickly in this second period after the Leafs were really hot in that first period tonight. They trail now by 1.
Mark Napier might have been the one who touched it. No, you're right, Bob Cole. It was Turnbull. They were both there.
19, Larry Robinson.
Larry Robinson gets the goal.
Assist number 15, Ray Jean
Now, those
Houle.
things happen.
And number 11, Yvon Labert. Time 2:37.
Right off Turnbull's stick, and boy, I tell you, that's a perfect deflection, Brian. Not the kind the Leafs would like to have. And we'll see it here from the top angle. Napier parked in front of the net all alone, and it was off Turnbull's stick. It never did touch Napier on the way in. Bob Gainey's gone to the Canadiens dressing room with a problem with a leg muscle. Let's see if we can get a further report on that.
2:37, the time of that go-ahead goal by Montreal, and it's 2-1 now. Paul Matier tipped it back to his own net. The Leafs, led by Stammer to McDonald. Coming out is Hutchison up over the line to center. Hutchison shoots it in, and Dryden steps back there to stop it from long. On the boards, it comes to Jarvis. Jarvis to Connor, that's too far. And again, the Leafs shoot it in. Burrows stopping it just at center. Now Savard. On the left side, Newman slices it down the ice, and Chartrand, or rather Connor, dropped it back and went by him then. And Paul Matier just played it up on the right side. It comes to McDonald. McDonald going in, the long shot in off the boards. Dryden had that taped all the way, just skated out and intercepted. Now the Leafs get a chance, moving it in front, and went by Sittler. And the Canadians down to the left side. Newman couldn't handle the pass. Hutchison back for Sittler, too far, and Dryden out of the net, clearing it for Guy Lafleur. Here's Lafleur leaving it. It's pumped to center ice, where Jarvis goes up over the line. Jarvis is bumped by Kenville as they hit the 4-minute mark of the second period. Montreal 2, Toronto 1. This is McDonald. Now with Kenville, and the pass back to him. McDonald going up over the line. The hard shot is stopped by Dryden. Now it's center right in front. Maloney testing Dryden, who went down to cover the angle, and big Dryden blocked that low shot by Maloney. Tonight's game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. They're nearing the 5-minute mark of the second period. Montreal coming out here in the second to get 2 goals at 1:57 and 2:37, and they lead it by 1. Jarvis bumped, falling to the ice. Shutt couldn't move it out. McKechnie gets set to make a play, decides to shoot it. It hit Jarvis, the scramble. Dryden made a big save on Turnbull's low shot to the short side, and here's Guy Lafleur, one man back. Here's Lafleur going in. He stops on Kenville. Kenville went off balance. A dandy pass, and the shot by Robinson went off his stick, up over the glass, but Lafleur had set up Robinson beautifully.
In the crowd tonight, we see CBC's Gene Taylor wearing a Leaf jersey. Apparently, he promised to wear it till the Leafs won 3 in a row, so he's hoping for a big weekend here for his favorite team.
Brian, that was a good matchup there just a moment ago. An interesting matchup. Lafleur and young Kenville. I thought the Leaf rookie held his ground very well on Lafleur. Although Guy did end up throwing a puck back nicely to Larry Robinson, as Bob mentioned. But I give Kenville credit on that. I see Lafleur deke a lot of defensemen on that same situation. Couldn't do it with Kenville.
I think they made a pretty wise draft choice when they plucked Kenville away from Windsor.
And now Mondeau comes back at center ice with Shutt and Lafleur. 2-1 Montreal. Lafleur back to Robinson. Into the corner. Mondeau didn't see the pass. And Hutchison, number 23 for Toronto, brings it out over the line. A good play gets him to center. Going in is Sittler, faking the shot. Sittler then had it knocked away, and the Canadians break out. It's Shutt going down with Mondeau. Mondeau and Lafleur going in. The pass to Lafleur, and he didn't move up on that right side. Now the the Leafs just push it down the ice. This will be icing. Chartrand goes back for Montreal. Salming once again comes to center ice for Toronto. At least he took that draw. A long shot. Now Salming tries to move it out and can. It's tipped near the net by Ull and wide. Here's Williams for Toronto. Coming down. He has Anderson on the right. Williams going in, dropping, and Anderson didn't get near it. Williams just left it right there. Here's Savard hopping over center. Savard going in with Napier, unable to pick it up, and it's cleared back to center ice. The Leafs shoot it in. Canadians come back to regroup. 2-1, Montreal leading, nearing the 6-minute mark of this second period. Ull missed knocking down the pass at center ice. And the Leafs, Kenville, up on the right side goes Turnbull, in for the shot. And he had Dryden hustling to stop that one. It just missed the net at the far side. Engblom can't move it out. Lambert is bumped along the boards, and Engblom will take over. But he put it on Williams' stick. Here's Williams for Toronto shooting it. And it stopped near the side of the net and cleared down the ice. It might go right in on the goal, and it does. Coming up to the 7-minute mark of the second period as Anderson goes to center. Up over the Canadian line with Boutet getting the pass. Salming looking forward. Didn't see it go behind him. Connor bumped by Salming. Boutet going in to help him. Salming has it, centered it, but Jarvis picked it off and cleared it to the line. It's kept in by Burrows. And now Salming sidesteps a check thrown by Savard. The Leafs keep the pressure on. Keeping it inside the line now. Salming, who seems to be everywhere while playing up front for Toronto. They hold it on the boards. Anderson got it loose. And now Connor comes out to center ice. He gets across center. A long, high shot off the glass. Human went in after the rebound. Couldn't get there in time. Connor trying to hold it. Now it's Jarvis spinning around in the corner. And he's checked by Anderson. The two players fall to the ice. And here's Boutet against Newman. Newman tries to hang on to the Leaf player. Here's Jarvis looking around. Gets it back to the line. Chartrand took the shot, and that went wide of the net. Robinson kept it in. Anderson bumped with Robinson. The Canadians keep it in at the line. Robinson couldn't shoot it, and it went into the corner. Around the net it goes. Hutchison stopped by Lafleur. He centered it. Oh, a nice save by Paul Mateers. Lafleur whipped the pass in front of the net. Lafleur's after it again. Lafleur tried to drop it back in front. Anderson just managed to shoot it down the ice as the Leafs were hemmed inside their own blue line and couldn't move it out. And here's Robinson bringing it in again. Robinson up over the line. He has Shutt behind him. Just shoots it off to the corner, and Turnbull for Toronto. Over to the other side for Sittler. Coming out. Sittler's pass down to the wing for McDonald. McDonald went by Robinson, and around the net he goes. Takes a look, and had it knocked away by Lafleur. Chartrand being bothered by Sittler. Over on this wing it comes. It went by everybody down the ice, and Turnbull is coming back. They played 8.5 minutes of the second period. It's 2-1 Montreal. That's Lafleur in forechecking, and it's Sittler coming up with it. A pass out in front of the net to Kenville to center down to McDonald. McDonald with a great shot, and he missed the net at the far side. Lafleur hooked the Leaf player's stick, Sittler, and it went down the ice into the Toronto zone. During the 9-minute mark of the second period, it's Montreal 2 and Toronto 1. Here's Kenville playing a strong game for the Leafs. Down with Sittler, and out of the net again is Dryden to backhand it over to the other corner. Now it's Robinson trying to get away. Robinson down to the wing. Napier carried up over the line, trying to go in with it, and they score! Walking in all alone, and the Canadians go up by 2, 3-1.
Gets his 16th of the year with a clever little deke on Palmateers. The Canadian worked it in smartly right up into the goal crease of Palmateer. Here it is again. Napier, and then to Rajan Uldick.
Very reminiscent, Brian, of a goal he scored on Jerry Cheevers in the Stanley Cup clinching game last year in Boston. But you know, if this replay could have been cranked back all the way, Larry Robinson made a big play to start the whole thing in his own zone. And Hull finds that small opening. He likes to go to the backhand, and that's exactly what he did there on Palmateer.
Well, the official scorer caught it too. Robinson also got the assist along with Mark Napier. There it is again. And as Rajan Uhl scores for Montreal, puts the Habs in front 3-1 at 9:11.
Now Dryden goes down to cover up on a bouncing shot. Connor was bumped and couldn't move it out of his own zone. The Leafs trying to feed it in front of the net, but it'll be cleared by Montreal out over the line to center. Jarvis feeds it ahead. It went by Connor, who was looking for the new pass. And it was touched back there by Burroughs. And icing is called against Montreal.
Final score, as I recall, Palmater getting the shutout.
Face off to the left of Ken Dryden. Montreal 3, Toronto 1. The Leafs took the lead in the game on Salming's goal at 17:30 in the first period. But the Canadians have stormed back here in the second period as McKechnie goes in. Slashed one in front of Dryden. Maloney centered it, and it went through Ellis's skates. The Canadians then got it out to the center ice area. Kenville backhands it in again. Dryden out of the net, scooping it up. And he hangs onto it. And the whistle goes. They'll get a face-off in the Canadian zone.
Brian, it's hard to figure this hockey game. You know, the Leafs are full value for the 1-0 lead over Dryden and the Canadians in the first period. And from this distance, you wonder, did the Leafs fall asleep when the second period began, or the Canadians just took over? But boy, right from the time they dropped the puck to start the second period, with one brief flurry, the Leafs really haven't played at all like they have in the first. Then again, you got to say the Canadians haven't left it.
That's right. It's been Montreal's second period, and just looking at Dryden there reminds me of the time Roger Nielsen tried to recruit him for his junior club in Peterborough, and Dryden elected to stay and play his junior hockey in Toronto.
Sittler at center ice again for Toronto. And it's Robinson, number 19, taking over as Rajan Uhl goes to the corner and skates down that right wing. Looks for the pass. It went behind him. He didn't pick it up. And it's Palmateer clearing it. McDonald hooked it to center. Robinson back to Chartrand, and back in goes Uhl. Gets away from it. Check into the corner he goes. Uhl was then bumped on the boards back to the net. They still fight for it. Salming fell to the ice. So did Uhl, and it was cleared to McDonald. Up to center he goes with Sittler bringing it in. Sittler couldn't go by Larry Robinson. And it's Uhl feeding it ahead on the wing. Napier nearly got in. There he is. Napier. The backhand shot went up high and off the glass. Wide of the net. Sittler starting Kenville down to center. Kenville spun around, carries on with a weak shot, stopped easily by Dryden. Kenville off of one leg as he let it go. Here's Sittler closing in, and his shot is stopped by Dryden. Up to center ice. Burroughs waits for the Leafs to come back outside the line. Now McDonald is onside and taking it back to the net, fighting for it. It comes to Jones. Jones in back of the goal. A penalty coming up against Canadians. Jones, I think. Oh, was it Butler was knocked down in front? It's a cross check anyway. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Undo in the penalty box for cross-checking at 11:55. Meanwhile, a spectator was caught high in the stands from a flying puck. We'll see if we can catch this infraction right in front of the net. Watch number 6, the cross-check there.
Well, I tell you, the Canadians were grabbing that time. Engvall and Savard, they were all involved. Mondu's the one who got caught on the play. It'd be kind of tough for Scotty to concentrate, Brian, on the immediate task at hand, because everybody, all the media types, I'm no exception, every time he turns around, they're asking him about the Challenge Cup Series next week. He's got a job at hand coaching his own hockey team, and they're in a string now, 4 straight on the road prior to the All-Star break. And they head right out of here tonight following this game and go into Washington. You see how he's right between the two benches.
Is he coaching them?
He's right between the two. He's available for either one.
Watch him in the second intermission tonight.
Oh, yeah, he's on the showdown tonight.
He's on the showdown tonight against Andy Bathgate.
8:05 remaining in the second period. And now the Leafs get a chance to come alive. They have the man advantage as the Canadians are penalized here in the second period. Uhl couldn't catch up with the pass from Jarvis. He's on as a penalty killer with Jarvis, Robinson, and Savard. And coming down, it's Sittler shooting it in for Toronto. McDonald the other side. It comes back to Williams. Williams gets set, looks for Wilson. Wilson played it in for Sittler. Sittler back to Wilson again. Into the corner to McDonald. McDonald out to Wilson. Over to Salming, and Dryden made a big save on Salming's low shot. Here's McDonald after it. A mad scramble in front of the net. The Leafs have tremendous pressure on now. Wilson to Salming, into McDonald. He can't handle it. McDonald tapped it over the glass then, and it went into the crowd, but the Leafs are really moving it around on this power play.
That's so frustrating for a player when the puck is between skates in the slot area and the bodies are milling around, and it's so difficult to get a good grab onto that puck and get a shot on goal.
That was an enormous save Dryden made off the shot from Salming that came in ankle high. Canadians have the best penalty killing record in the league. Savard, as you see, with 2 shorthanded goals. That's the time remaining for Mondu.
I agree with you, Dick. I heard your comments of the intermission. Dryden has looked very sharp. You're saying he's playing as well now as he ever has. That was a big save off Salming. A low shot to the left side. Now it's again Salming giving it to Wilson. Closing in for the shot. It was wide. Williams has the rebound. Takes a look on the rim of the circle. Williams backhands it in back of the net. Robinson ran into Sittler. McDonald to the corner again. McDonald gets it back to Wilson. Into the side of the net. They can't get a shot away. Robinson knocked his man. Williams flying. And the Canadians whip it down the ice. 45 seconds left in Mondu's penalty. It's 3-1 Montreal. And here's Wilson gathering speed to center ice. He's up over the line. Wilson looked as if he might go all the way, then got a relay pass back to the blue line from Sittler to McDonald. Sittler lost it against Lafleur, and he was bumped by Wilson, but managed to poke it down the ice with 23 seconds left in the penalty. The Leafs on a power play. Coming to center, and it's Lafleur picking up a pass. Lafleur takes it back in his own zone. McDonald goes in to chase him. Lafleur for Robinson. And the Leafs hustling in, get control. It's McDonald back of the net. McDonald is stopped. Here's Sittler after it. Out it goes to Salming. The penalty is over. Wilson going right in. Waiting on goal. McDonald with a shot right just down. A scramble for it. And can you believe it? They can't get it in. And the Canadians hanging on. Lafleur tried to clear it down the ice, and it went over the glass into the crowd.
Let's watch it again. As look at the moves Wilson makes here. By one man. Look at, they come out to him. He goes by another. He tried to set up the play right in the slot area. McDonald couldn't find it for a second.
What action around the net. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Garden. 51 remaining of the second period. Montreal 3 and Toronto 1. But the Leafs have the pressure on. Boutette's shot, and Dryden looked great as he moved to the short side very quickly to stop that shot. The Canadians can't move it out. Leafs keeping it in. Jones had a shot go just wide. Now on the board. Shutt is bumped, but it comes across the line. Turnbull didn't wait long enough for Boutette to come outside the line, and it's called on the intentional offside.
Before the game, we asked Steve Shutt, is it tough to come back from an injury to a line stressing speed?
I think the injured players should be close to, especially Lemaire and Lapointe and Riseborough should be. They've had long injuries, and especially Lemaire and Riseborough. They should be very close to coming back at that date.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
I think it was.
Scotty was impersonating Steve Shutt, or vice versa.
3-1, Montreal leading. Mondu, Lafleur, and Shutt for Canadians. Jones ushered off the face-off spot. Butler got the draw, but Robinson was there. Chartrand took a shot, and Palmateer will hang on to this one. And no further play. They'll do it again to the right of Mike Palmateer.
I've known some players to imitate the coach. I've never heard of coaches imitating players, but it's worked the other way.
The players get paid more often.
Here it is with Turnbull hooking it on the boards. That might go for icing. No, they wave it off, and back goes Chartrand. Chartrand ahead for Lafleur. Boutette bumped him right away. Lafleur tried to kick it away, and they get another whistle in the Canadian zone this time.
Let's hope so, anyway.
Face off to the right of Ken Dryden now in the Montreal zone. Puck is dropped in, and it's Savard ahead for Connor. Connor gets it out to Newman at center. Newman for Canadians going in. He couldn't go by Salming, though. He was knocked down, and Hutchison has it for McKechnie. McKechnie's pass on the left side. Maloney goes to center. A high one goes in wide to the Canadiens net. Ellis tried to center it and hit the side of the goal. McKechnie bumped with Jarvis. And then Newman's pass to Connor. Connor slipped it in over the line, and here's Newman back for it. In around the net, he centered it. Here's a chance for Engblom shooting! And the scramble that went through Palmateer and hit the defenseman in front and then bounced into the corner. Now McKechnie, he's coming in. He took a shot, and that went off the glove of Dryden and just wide. Back for Montreal. Newman going in. Shooting one off to the corner, and Maloney takes it in the Toronto zone. Played it for Ellis. Back to Maloney, and he was covered too well. Engblom turning for the Canadiens as the Leafs change as the play goes on. It's cleared in over the Maple Leaf line. Now back for Sittler, in with McDonald trailing. Here's Sittler shooting. Scores! Sittler took the shot, and I think it went through the legs of Dryden, and it's 3-2.
I think it did. Through the legs of Dryden. Sittler showing great determination. Savard trying to catch him. And here's the play again, Dick.
Brian, you wonder why players don't use the backhand a little more. That one handcuffed Dryden, no doubt about it. And you saw there, perhaps, if you're watching the goaltender, there was space between the legs. He seemed to lose his balance as the puck came toward him. Savard got caught a bit at the blue line, had to struggle to get back and didn't make it all the way. And with Dryden a bit off balance, Sittler did exactly what he had to do, let it go. And now the Leafs have moved to within one. That's a big goal, Brian. If the Canadiens made it 4-1, you know, school was out. But now it's a different hockey game.
16:02, the time of the goal by Darryl Sittler. And he was fresh off the bench, picking up that pass and going in to beat Dryden with the backhand. Here's McDonald! And, oh, Dryden got the right arm up and got in the way of that shot.
Well, you mentioned Savard getting caught a little bit up the ice on Sittler's goal. Let's watch it again, Dick. Here he comes.
You see Savard struggling to get over to that side. Sittler had a lot of skating room down that right wing, and Kenny seemed to kick the one leg and miss it and lost his balance, and it went right between the legs. Good play by Sittler. He out-hustled Savard to score the goal.
So it's Montreal 3 and Toronto 2 with 3:44 remaining in this second period. And the Leafs fighting back to get close again. Naturally, they would love to tie it before this period is over. Canadiens, of course, will be looking for that two-goal spread again they enjoyed just seconds ago. Leafs scored first when Salming got a goal in the first period, and the Canadiens got 3 in a row. Now the Leafs on Sittler's effort back again. Here's Robinson shooting it in. Ohl is racing after it, going on Palmateer, and Ohl ended up in the net. Palmateer went down, but he kept that puck out.
Cut in on that side.
The Russians are coming, the all-stars of the Soviet Major League, led by Balderas, Petrov, and Mikhailov, to play the NHL All-Stars. Be with us at Madison Square Garden for the Challenge Cup, the series of the century. Jean Huel's been a very dangerous forward in around that Toronto Maple Leaf goal tonight. We're waiting for the face-off now in the corner, so perhaps we'll have a chance to see a replay of that situation.
Cuts right in, fights off the check, and then loses his balance. Well, I guess he didn't fight it off all the way, and he was knocked down right into Palmateer. Ryan Mike Bossy scored again. It's 2 for tonight, 42 in the year, and Vancouver now leads Washington 4-1.
Face off to the right of Palmateer. 3:28 remaining in the second period. 3-2 Montreal leading. Now Ohl has to move outside that face-off circle. Bob Hodges, the linesman, losing patience. And Lambert comes in against Sittler. Got the draw, too. Back to Robinson it goes. He took the shot. That's stopped by Palmateer. Burrows whipped it on the boards for Sittler, coming down with McDonald. Here's McDonald breaking in. Gets ready on goal. And here's a chance for Williams. Oh, Dryden reached out with his hand and knocked it away. The Canadiens one man back. This is Napier racing in. Napier gets set, took a weak shot, and Palmateer had little difficulty with that save. Up to center ice, Robinson. He Left it for Chartrand. Played it in on the boards. Turnbull going back to the net. Swinging out for the Leafs. Turnbull goes down the left side, and he can really move it when he wants to. Here's Turnbull. He's upended by Chartrand. The puck is cleared down the ice again by Canadians. It'll be icing with Kenville back. He touched it as he skated by it. He nearly missed it, but he did get a piece of it. And it's icing against Montreal.
3-2 Montreal in front.
And there's Jim Jones, number 16 for Toronto. Butler standing to his right, and poised behind him is Pat Boutette. But the Canadians got the draw and controlled it as Lafleur went into the corner with it. Around the net. Lafleur hooked a high one out over the line to center ice. Now here's Lafleur racing down for Montreal, having difficulty but took the shot, and Salming reached out with his stick and deflected it.
What a confrontation. Lafleur coming in on Salming. Let's go downstairs to Dave Hodge.
From the face-off, Englund had it bounce over his stick down the ice. Butler trying to race him, and Butler picked it off. He's into the corner. Jerry Butler centered it. Lafleur was right in front of the net to clear it away from Ondu, and down the ice it goes. This is Kenville, number 3 for Toronto. He lost it again. Shot! Oh, and that high shot was up off the glass. Here's Boutette. Got it over behind the net for Salming. Salming coming out. The Canadians in forechecking. Butler's pass to Jones in with Boutette. Here's Boutette, and he missed that pass that went off his stick and through his skates. Mondu on the boards, trying to hold it. 2 Leaf players jam him, and now they get a whistle for a face-off in the Canadian zone.
Scotty needs any help. Howie Meeker's just a few feet away. He's still in behind that bench area. He should be in getting dressed for showdown, wouldn't you think?
I won't comment. No, you got. I'm not going to answer that one. Brian, it's been giveaway time here the last little while. Engblom in the Canadian zone, Kenville down in the Toronto zone. The teams have had their chances. You're right about that Salming-Lafleur situation. Salming's done a little bit of everything here tonight. Played goaltender earlier on.
1:36 left in the period. 3-2, Montreal leading. Here's Ellis after his man on the boards. McKechnie can't get it loose, and they whistle it dead again. Face off in the Montreal zone to the left of Dryden.
Serge Savard, his stick caught McDonald in the face earlier, and then, well, he's quite a sportsman. He was quite concerned that he'd injured McDonald and was very attentive to the Leaf forward just as he skated away.
1:27 left in the period. Montreal 3, Toronto 2. Leafs with McKechnie, Ellis, and Maloney, and Robinson coming out for Canadians. Down in the wing goes Connor. Connor tried to break in on the Leaf defenseman Burrows, and then it was cleared by Maloney down to center ice. Chartrand for Connor again. Here's Connor from center. He was bumped by Maloney as he took the long shot. McKechnie for Maloney. Maloney is dumped just outside the line by Chartrand. Here's Turnbull waiting for Ellis to come back on side. 55 seconds left of the second period as the Leafs. McKechnie goes in. Played it back to Turnbull and the Canadians. 3 of them break the center. A pass by Jarvis to Connor. Connor up over the line, backhands it into the corner, and the Canadians are content to change as the play goes on. And now Turnbull. He was stopped. Here's Robinson going in. A nice play. Comes to Lambert. He can't find it. It's scrambled, but it's good. And I think Napier might get credit, but I believe the Leafs put that in.
Now Robinson was there as well, and he may have got his stick on it at the last second, but a loose puck in front of Palmatier. Some fancy passing set this one up. There's a good pass. A drop pass back. Lambert, he lost control here, Dick, but they still got a goal out of it late in the period.
Leafs never did get control of it. I think it's Larry Robinson right there. You notice him to the right of the screen taking a jab at the puck. Mark Napier made a real heads-up play that time to Lambert. It is Robinson who gets it. Here we see it now as Robinson jabs at it, and it gets by Burrows and into the net.
Robinson, a big goal with just 31 seconds left in the period, and it's 4-2 Montreal in front.
Okay, Robinson gets the goal, 19-29. The Leafs standing around in front of the net were all slashing that way, but Robinson got it. 18 seconds left in the period now. 4-2 Montreal. And the Canadians on the move again. It's cleared in by Napier into the corner. And Solving, number 21 for Toronto, gets it back near the line. Savard will kill the clock now as he passes it back to Robinson. And the bell goes to end the second period with the Canadians outscoring Toronto Maple Leafs 4-1 in that period. And so the score at the end of the second is Montreal 4 and Toronto 2.
Our friend Mr. Meeker, our friend Mr. Bathgate, and Gump Worsley in goal. Gump's our friend too. Here's Showdown 79.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Boom Boom Jeffrion, and I'm the guest host for the Showdown. And we do have two young rookies. The first rookie is Howie Meeker versus Andy Badgate of the New York Rangers. Golly gee whiz, oh my God. Howie, how do you think you're going to do in this event?
I'm going to do pretty well. I can't shoot in the same class as...
Oh, golly gee whiz. Oh, my God.
I'll tell you, I'm going to have to win one of the two events, and when we go into the goal-scoring one, I hope the Gumper gets hot against...
Look at this. He already missed that pass. Golly gee whiz. Oh, my God.
You know what, Mr. Jeffrion?
What's happening, my man?
You should stay in this business. You got super lines.
Oh, right on, baby. Thank you so much.
That's the first time in a long time my friend Howie Meeker's been called baby, but that's Boom Boom Jeffrion for you tonight. We come to the passing course as Howie Meeker faces our defending champion of Showdown last year, Andy Bathgate. This is the matchup we've been waiting for. I'm all alone in the booth tonight. Howie is competing. We'll be picking up Howie's comments along the way. There's a mic at the bench. Andy makes the first pass.
He's taking the short way along with the pylons. Really going. Good lean. Save that, Gumper. Ooh. Thanks, Gump.
So Andy Bathgate, the former Ranger captain and Hart Trophy winner, has a pretty good time. 12.95. Howie, you're really going to have to move, buddy, to match that.
It makes you mad. He's so easy in there. He stops and he just sort of laughs at you.
Here he is, folks. Howie Meeker. Former player and coach with the Leafs, Calder Trophy winner. 5 goals in the game.
Come on, Howard, old boy.
He's talking to himself.
Put it in. Now, round the pylons, right? 2 feet short way.
Hey, not even puffing, and that's great time for Grandpa Howie Meeker.
Hey, I made the backhand
Not quite enough to catch Bathgate, but a great performance.
I did make it. I didn't make
Remember,
that
Howie's
easy.
giving away about a dozen years here.
Very good.
How about that?
So Bathgate wins the first event, 5-0.
I didn't even get the shot in the net. That's the history of my life.
It was the change-up that nearly beat me.
Yeah.
I got that Andy's bullet, and then you give me the knuckler.
Good show, Howie.
Oh, a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Boom, I thought my friend Howie did a great job in that event.
Golly gee, he did it so well with the basic. Look at this, what he did. He just lost by half a second. Golly gee whiz.
Sounds like somebody I know.
No, he's great. I'm very happy to see him do well so far, even though Andy Badgate won it. I think that Howie Meeker did extremely well.
Bathgate leads it in event number 1. They're putting the targets in place. Event number 2 coming right up.
More to come. Showdown 79.
The players have just completed event number 2, and we'll show you the highlights. This is the shooting drill, the accuracy drill. 10 pucks at the targets. Andy Bathgate, this is what he did. Got one. Took a little nick out of that upper target as his pucks are running out, and then he blasted it with that shot. So he got 2 targets out of 4. Howie Meeker had difficulty with the pucks coming out of the machine. All around that lower target. There's where he had trouble. Now, with this shot, he smashed that lower target and got one of them.
We got one of them
We
anyway.
can't think that fast. That's our problem.
Well, we used to. The goaltenders got accused of not being able to think. Now you're finally admitting to it after all these years.
I was never in your end of the ring, so I don't know.
I know that. Even when you played with me, you weren't.
So we come to event number 3, the breakaway. There are the 5 pucks. They have 40 seconds in which to get them away. And Bathgate holds a 10-0 lead over my buddy Howie Meeker. Bathgate in the dressing room. Howie will talk to himself. He'll psych himself up through this. Shot number 2. A robber, he says.
Hell of a save, Dumper.
There's one. Come on, Howie. Oh, he's got 2. Fading away. Tried a second beat to come back. Couldn't quite do it. But Howie gets 2 for 5.
You got the foot up.
You wanted that third one. Look at this deke by Howie. Little move there, then fades almost to the corner of the rink before he slips it in behind Gump Worsley. So Bathgate is next.
That Gump.
What's he going to do?
I got one.
Oh, good toe save by Gump Worsley. 4 pucks left. No. Oh, he lost the puck.
Shut him out,
That could be costly. Now he needs these 2 to win it. Doesn't get it. We're going to have overtime. Can Andy score in this final shot? Shutout for Gump Worsley. We've got overtime. Guess who's happy?
I just had 1. You made 3 on me like that. Hey, Gumper, come here. I love you.
10-10 tie as Andy Bathgate couldn't find a chink in Gump Worsley's armor anywhere.
I'll shoot first.
Andy will go first. Okay?
Yeah, but I'm losing all my energy.
Never mind. Stand there. I'll hit you. Just stay hot, Gump.
Shut up, you nigger.
So one way down.
Gump talking to Jeffrey on.
Boom, boom. You give me instructions.
Make some dumb plays, but you get away a good shot, and you got 3 good shots.
Nice pose. Bathgate will shoot first.
Yeah.
He's ready. Here he comes. We've got overtime now, a 10-10 tie. Wide of the target.
What is that?
Let's listen to how he psyched himself up.
It's going in. It's going in. It's going in. That Gump. Yeah.
It's going in. Oh, it did go in. Meeker defeats the defending champion Andy Bathgate, 15-10.
How about that?
What a move in overtime. We watch it again as Meeker moves in from the side. His little shift there. Congratulations, partner. What do you got to say for yourself?
Thank God for Gumper.
Well, Howie, I've got to congratulate you because, first of all, when you scored...
Golly gee whiz.
Oh, no, holy smoke. Holy smoke. Yeah. You know, you always did on television, and you always said perfection, and you did it. And I want to congratulate you because, first of all, you deke Gump from your forehand. And when you went to sudden death, I told the guy in the stand, I said, I'll bet you Howie's going to fade to go back on his forehand, and he's going to deke him on the other side on his backhand, and you did it, golly gee whiz.
Holy jumping jack. Thank God for good goaltending.
Good luck the rest of the way, brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great show, Howie. Next week, another old-timers matchup. Richard.
We're playing with the best players in the National Hockey League and against, I think, one of the best teams in the world. And we're all excited about it and enthusiastic. And we all remember what it was like in the Canada Cup. I think the fans are going to see some great entertaining hockey. Hey, Mackie?
Well, how can they help with the guys like you and I on the team? Just think how lucky a guy like Bob Gainey is to get to play with you and I.
Yeah, maybe you can score the winning goal this time.
Hey, that'd be all right.
Forward to the series of the century, the Challenge Cup, beginning next week, Thursday the 8th at 8 o'clock, Saturday the 10th, 2 p.m., and February the 11th, an 8 o'clock start.
A 4-2 hockey game here as the teams are back on for the start of the third period. Salming opened the scoring at 17:30 in the first. Then the Canadians took over. Shutt at 1:57. Robinson his first of two at 2:37. Uhl at 9:11. And Robinson closed it out at 19:29 after Sittler had scored for the Leafs at 16:02. 4-2 as we get ready to start the third period.
Wonder, Bob, if we have a chance here to look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Here we are now. There's our score. Then Vancouver leading Washington.
The third period is underway. The Leafs, down by 2 goals, will undoubtedly try to pull out all the stops now to beat Dryden. McKechnie in against Robinson. McKechnie whipped it back to the line, but it's Newman going down the left wing for Montreal. Newman around the defense. He cuts to the side of the net, and he hit the side of the net as he tried to center it. And the goaltender, Mike Palmateer, held it with a stick.
Well, there's... Go ahead, Brian.
Chicago leading Atlanta 2-1 in the third, Dick. Minnesota in front of Buffalo 1-0, and Rangers at Los Angeles getting underway in a few minutes.
And more potential bad news for the NHL All-Stars in that Minnesota-Buffalo game. Jim Schoenfeld has been injured again. My goodness, he has a lot of injuries. He has a knee problem. That's all we've been told so far, but he is out of that game.
Well, I sure hope that Gainey is back for next week. He will be a valuable asset to that team. In the Challenge Cup, they'd sorely miss a man like Bob Gainey. The Leafs starting up again for Sittler at center. Sittler's pass too far for McDonald. Dryden will cover on this one and clear it. Robinson starting away. Robinson is stopped inside the line on the boards. They hold it, and there's no further play in the Canadian zone.
Next Saturday game, Los Angeles games, I should say. Los Angeles at Toronto. That'll be seen nationally. It'll be Washington at Montreal, and the Islanders will play in Vancouver.
Brian Trottier has 2 assists in the Islanders game tonight, so Lafleur now has 84 points. Trottier's second with 83 as of this moment.
And the Canadians. Napier got the draws. He kicked it back, and Engblom went up across center to shoot it in high on the boards. Palmateer into the corner for Lanny McDonald for the Leafs. Coming out. His pass is stopped outside the line. Bull flipped it back inside the Leaf blue line, and it's cleared down the ice by Toronto. Dryden watches this one go to his right over the goal line. Will they call it? Yes, they do. The fans don't like it, but it's icing against the Toronto Maple Leafs with a score 4-2. Montreal leading. A minute and 15 seconds gone in the third period.
Bob, there isn't a player in the league who lazy daisies his way back for those icing calls. It's Serge Savard. Serge doesn't move very fast anyway. At least he doesn't give you that impression, so it works pretty well for him.
They talk about Savard in his skating, you know. They told me one time, Dick, I'm sure you're aware, he and Cornwallis had a skating race in training camp in Kentville, I believe, Nova Scotia. And the winner was none other than Savard.
He's reminded us of it many times.
A long pass was good to center ice to Anderson, but then he failed to control it. Napier starting from his own line. Up the center, he was stopped. Turnbull fell. He goes right on with Napier shooting it in for Canadians. Palmateer stopped it behind the net. Now Burrows lining up the Leafs. A pass on the skate of McDonald. Back for Burrows to center. Burrows got across center and cleared it in. And Dryden stepping out of the net again. Engblom laid it ahead. The Leafs can't keep it in. Down goes Uhl, racing against Burrows, but out of the net was Palmateer to steer it up on the boards for Darryl Sittler. Here's Sittler waiting. Tried to hook it out, but Savard knocked it down. Now Turnbull comes to center with Anderson. Anderson bumped by Lafleur, knocked to the ice. Nearing the 3-minute mark of the third period, Lafleur. Can he catch up to it? No, he cannot. And it's cleared to the Leafs. Darryl Sittler coming in as Sittler. Sittler play to Anderson. A nice fake by Anderson on Engblom. Then Anderson went off stride. Sittler got it back. Here's Campbell closing in. Dryden kicked that one out. And the Canadians turn away. A pass to Lafleur is broken up by Canville. Near the center ice red line. Here's Mondeau coming in. He was bumped by Canville. And Palmateer left it in the corner. Fooled everybody. Shutt tried to center, and here's Lafleur. He got dangerously close and couldn't trap it. Lafleur backhands it in behind the Leaf goal. Anderson, the pass behind him. Savard took the shot, deflected wide of the Leaf net. And Campbell is coming out, away from Lafleur. Lafleur caught up to him. Lafleur stealing it. Lafleur shoots. And he drilled the shot wide on the short side. Robinson took a high stick but kept that puck in. The Canadians apply some pressure on the Leafs, but now Jones moved it to center ice. Shutt went after it, and 3-4 players hold it on the boards, and it's called. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada. Begins with Jarvis at center ice, Connor and Newman on the wings against Jim Jones of the Maple Leafs. Stamler on the left side and Boutet on the right wing. This is Newman, 26, slapping it in across the Leaf line, and Boutet has it. He was stopped. Here's offside call. Newman appeared to be home free, but he was offside.
Our executive producer, Ralph Mellenby, asked me to remind everybody that Dan Newman, number 26 for Montreal, comes from Essex, Ontario, simply because our executive producer comes from Essex, Ontario. So I better stay on the right side of the boss.
They'll be cheering down in Essex tonight. There's that little hook by Salming, but the play was offside. And the Flying Fathers want to thank all the good folks in the Northwest Territories for the hospitality they received on their recent trip up there.
At center, McKechnie. Can he poke it loose? No, it comes to Maloney, though. And he slapped it in behind the Canadian net. Robinson, who has scored 2 goals for the Canadians, start them off again. And here's a pass down to the wing for Connor, who stops. Tried to center it and hit Maloney. And Maloney for the Leafs just moved away. Now there's a penalty coming against Turnbull. And Jerry Butler back with Jones to center. Butler shooting it in wide of the Canadian net. Right, couldn't clear it. Butler after it. He seems to be skating everywhere inside that line. Burrows coming back in. On the play, Salming tried to carry in after getting the pass from Burrows, and he had it knocked away. Now the Canadians on the power play. Here's Uhl. He's up over the line against Burrows. He stops, looks back near the line for Guy Lafleur. To Robinson, a shot, a scramble for it. And it's Butler clearing it down the ice for the Maple Leafs. 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the penalty. Green Turnbull of Toronto as Lafleur brings it out of his own zone. He comes out across the line, and he passed to Shutt. Shutt feeds it in for LaRouche, and it's cleared but not out. A shot, and Paul Matier just got back in time to stop it. Into the corner, Jones took a swing at it, and Lafleur stopped it at center ice. Dribbled a pass ahead, and here's Mondeau going in with LaRouche. Mondeau along the blue line, dropping it for Robinson. Robinson gets set. Into the side for LaRouche to Lafleur, the shot! And it's stopped by Paul Matier. A good shot by Lafleur. The Canadians keep the pressure on. Here's Shutt winding up. He'll take the drive. He scores! It was tipped into the side of the net, but Shutt waited until everybody moved and gave him the hold to let the shot go.
Stamler lost his stick on the play, and that didn't help matters much from a Leafs standpoint. There's the shot now, deflected past Palmatier. Was that Jarvis off to the side?
Hard to tell who it hit. Might have been LaRouche standing there, but you're right, Brian, about Stamler's stick. You see it lying there to the right of your screen, and it's tough enough to play without a stick, but when you're killing a penalty, it makes it that much worse. A couple of the Canadians chopped at it there. Lafleur, LaRouche, there they are. Now they're standing right there. Do they make contact? Hard to tell from that replay. Here it comes. No, it's Pierre LaRouche got his stick on it, and this first time he's been on the ice is the first period.
And number 10, Guy Lafleur. Time 5:26. Here.
5:26, the time of the goal, and it's 5-2 Montreal. Here's Williams getting as far as center, and it's played into the Canadian zone by Hutchison. Canadians will feed it back out. This is Connor coming to center ice. Connor gets set, makes the play near the line, but the Leafs take over, and Turnbull comes down with Sittler. Sittler got in over the line, and they merge on him, 3 Canadians, and take the puck away from the Leaf captain. At center ice, the Canadians changing. Jarvis shooting it in. And Hutchison around the net, coming out with Turnbull. And on this side, Sittler. The pass was behind Sittler. Down the ice it goes. Englund touching it, and the Leafs are called for icing.
We've got 13:39 to play. Canadians lead by 3, 5-2. And here's a look at the sculpture that's been designed for the Challenge Cup Series coming up next week.
You pose for that, Brian?
Well, that's the way I hold the stick.
Face off now to the Leafs. Goaltender's right. Deep in the zone, McKechnie. Up the draw, it's cleared down the ice. Ellis won't catch up to it. Dryden out of the net. Steered it up on the side for Robinson to center. Canadians with that 3-goal lead now. Just feeding the puck back to the center ice area. Chartrand back of the net. Leafs forecheckers line up. The Chartrand comes out. The long pass to center. And the Canadians bring it in again, but offside on the wing was he was upended then by Paul Matiers. He skated by in front of the lead goaltender and Yvon Lambert, going in to have a few words with Paul Matiers.
Well, Reggie Ewell certainly wasn't injured on the play, and it was one of those things. Hard to tell whether it was intentional or not, Dick.
Well, the goaltenders complain when a fellow will shoot the puck or come a little too close after a whistle goes. This offside was called at the blue line. Napier, the puck carrier, and Ewell was offside. He lets up, and there goes Paul Matier's stick, and there goes Reggie Ewell. Pass was given to him by Mark Napier, Brian. It's not easy to walk in and make the Montreal Canadiens. Napier's been very patient, but I would have to think tonight that right here in Toronto, his hometown, where he played junior and started his pro career with the Toros, he's playing, I think it's the best game he's played for the Canadiens so far.
Nearing the 7-minute mark of the third period, Montreal 5, Toronto 2. And it's Maloney backhanding it into the Canadian zone. Chartrand back at the net. McKechnie after him, swings around on the goalpost, but Napier has it. This is Napier starting out. McKechnie trying to catch him, and Napier pulled away from him. Got away from the check. Napier going in. It comes back near the line, and the Leafs break out. Maloney on the left. Salming played it over the other way for McKechnie. Back in front for Ellis, and again the Canadians can't clear it. Kendall's shot, and Dryden steered that away from McKechnie. Then Lambert lashed it down the ice. This will be icing, and it's Kendall going back with 12 minutes and 30 seconds left in the period. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. The Leafs have Sittler with Stamler and McDonald. Sittler to take the face-off to the left of Dryden and try to get it back to McDonald. 5-2, Montreal leading with the Canadians. Jarvis got the draw. It's off the boards, cleared to center. Connor played it up as far as the Leaf line. Now here's Stamler after it. He circles, comes back in, took a shot. A hard shot by Stamler, but off the net. Sittler kept it in with the help of Burrows, and now Newman pushed it out to center again. 12 minutes and 5 seconds left in the hockey game. Jarvis nearly stole it from Turnbull. Turnbull recovered in time, though, to bring it out to center ice. Turnbull gets across center. Now up over the Canadian line, was bumped by Connor, and back at the net goes Savard to Newman. Newman starting out. A pass to center ice, and Jarvis just flipped it into the Toronto zone as the Canadians change on the go. 11:40 left in the hockey game. It's 5-2, Montreal up by 3 goals. And Turnbull's pass, he nearly lost it again, is shot this time. And the fans get a little restless with Turnbull as he tried to clear it. This is Savard. He played it ahead. Engblom's pass goes in, the shot on the left wing. Shutt took a shot, scores! Shutt released the shot. A hard one, but I don't think Paul Matier was quite ready.
No, I think you're right, Bob. The Canadians starting to skate away with this game now, and Shutt has that quick release, Dick. He caught Paul Matier a little bit by surprise there, I believe.
Brian, second goal tonight, 4th goal in 2 games for Steve Shutt. And that one handcuffed Paul Matier all the way. Came from fairly well out. He can drill them all right, but Paul Matier looked weak on that one, and that gives the Canadians a 6-2 lead. As we mentioned, number 22 for number 22. And I'm surprised, Brian, at the way Toronto has played these last 2 periods after the good first period they had. I can't understand it.
Well, they were checking so well in the first period.
Assist number 3, Brian Engblom. And number
but the Canadians just kept coming.
Time 8:40.
And now they're up by 4 goals. 8:40, the time of that goal by Shutt. It's 6-2. Montreal. Salming plays it over for Hutchison. Dryden stopped that long shot, and Robinson on the boards. The Leafs keep it in, though. Williams is chasing it now. And the Canadian Chartrand gets it up as far as the line. Hutchison going in. Anderson got loose and couldn't shoot it. And a penalty coming up against the Montreal Canadiens. So the Leafs will have a power play opportunity in just a moment. With a score, Montreal 6, Toronto 2. This is Hockey Night in Canada.
So midway through this final period, Guy Lafleur gets his 6th penalty of the year at 9-10 for tripping.
9-10, Lafleur for tripping. The Leafs with a man advantage. And the Canadians, Robinson, golfing it down the ice. Salming going back. Bull is on with Jarvis, Robinson, and Savard, the penalty killers for Montreal. And it's Salming starting the play down to Anderson. Across center he goes, snapping it by Savard. And Robinson was there first. It's cleared, but not out. Wilson's pass off the boards. Comes near the line. Kept in by Anderson. Now Savard couldn't move it out. Robinson did as he backhands it down the ice. Salming in his own zone for McKechnie. McKechnie lost it. And it's Hull failing to get away from Salming, who hooked it away from the Canadian player. Here's Salming starting up. He comes near the blue line, takes his time, now turns on a bit of speed, gets in over the line with a long shot, and Dryden loved that one. He saw it all the way. Canadians didn't move it out. Anderson coming in, shoots, and Dryden holding his ground. Red light went on, but Dryden has it, no problem, and he holds it.
And Helleman right there. You know, fans will do anything for their hockey heroes, and 17-year-old Debbie Potter of Pickering, Ontario, spent most of last summer hooking this rug for her favorite player, Darryl Sittler. A few days ago at the Garden, she presented the Leaf captain with this rug, which he says he'll cherish and hang prominently in his home.
There's Dryden. And, of course, he stands high among the Vezina Trophy leaders. Montreal, Dryden in a rock. 9:46 left in the game. Here's Turnbull. Shooting it into the corner. Maloney has it. He can't center it. Savard covering up to find the opening and clearing it down the ice. With 40 seconds left in the penalty to Guy Lafleur. At 9:30 left in the hockey game. Montreal 6, Toronto 2 as Turnbull comes in. Turnbull backhands it by Savard. Spun around quickly to pick it up. Savard lost it. A quick shot. Sittler scores. Sittler just wheeled in front of Dryden, and Dryden could not get ready for that low shot.
The captain coming back from that knee injury in fine form once again. Wheels here to beat Dryden. And that makes it 6-3 with 9:17 on the clock.
Maloney checking on Savard really made the play happen right there. Forced Savard to cough up the puck. And I think that just simply caught Dryden unprepared because the puck went out there so quickly, and Sittler wasted no time, as Salming did in the first period. He was backing away from the net when he let it go. Look at that. Tremendous balance, and Sittler fires it right underneath Dryden. But Maloney made a good play, and now it's 6-3 Montreal.
10:43, the time of the goal by Sittler. That's his second of the game, and it's 6-3 now. Sittler from Maloney at 10:43.
Well, that's a $32,000 24-karat gold hockey puck in the making. It'll be polished and engraved with Darryl Sittler's signature. Darryl is chairman of the CKFM Hotel Toronto Christmas Children's Fund. He'll present that puck to the hospital for sick children.
The Leafs trying to move it out. A long pass stopped at the far side by Schutt. Boutet caught up with him, though. Robinson turning with Lafleur on the fly. Here's Lafleur losing control of it at the Leaf blue line. And it's Schutt stealing it. Here's Schutt breaking in. A high shot went up off the glass as Schutt was knocked to the ice by Turnbull. He let it go. Now it's Lafleur after it. Butler had him covered. Jerry Butler for the Leafs and Boutet starting away. A pass goes to center, and Robinson has it. Just throws it back in on Paul Matier. 8 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game as the fans get on Paul Matier. He's allowed 6 goals tonight. The Canadians up by 3. Now the Leafs moving in again. It's Connor breaking it up, but he lost it against Jones. Newman brings it out of the Canadian zone, skating to center. A long pass stopped by Hutchison at the Leaf blue line. He brings it back over center ice. Here's Hutchison going in. He might go all the way with it. Around Engblom. No, Engblom caught up to him. Hutchison gets it back near the line. It was tipped down the ice. Might go for icing. As Salming goes back, and it is called icing against Montreal. This game is coming to you from 7 minutes and 42 seconds left to play in the hockey game. Montreal Canadiens 6, Toronto Maple Leafs 3. Face off in the Canadian zone to the left of Dryden. McKechnie got the draw. Ellis took the shot and hit a leg in front of the net, and Salming goes to the corner. He centered it. Dryden got in the way of that pass. Hutchison keeping it in. A backhand shot. Dryden is down. It hits Savard. And it's Savard's rink-wide pass behind Connor. He stops at center. Tried to find Newman. Couldn't make the play then as he was covered by Williams. Savard against McKechnie. Engblom comes to center ice. Shoots it up where Hutchison stopped it. Hutchison looks around. Spins at his own blue line. Now he backs up in his own zone and goes back to the net with it. 7 minutes left in the hockey game. Canadians 6. And the Leafs 3. McKechnie's pass on the wing for Ellis. Ellis up over the line, dropping it for McKechnie. McKechnie tried to feed it back. Decides to go to the corner with it. Williams takes it. Williams centered it, and Dryden gloved the centering pass. And with Ellis standing there, he held it.
Well, I read where Scotty Bowman would like to get at least 700 career victories. Dick Irvin, your dad coached Toronto here the first year they were in the Gardens, and also Montreal. How many NHL victories did he compile?
Well, first off, I appreciate this picture. I hope my sister's watching in Ottawa. 690, Brian, his final total. I kidded Scotty when he reached 500. Dad has the lead, of course. I said, well, Coach, you've got 190 to go. That's all.
Well, your dad was a remarkable hockey man. You know, if you've got $32,000 in your purse, Dick, you can buy that gold puck I showed you a few minutes ago.
Can you make up the difference for me?
Well, it depends on the price of gold on the day they auction that off.
6:48 left in the game. McDonald after it from the draw. Into the corner, the Canadians try to move it out. Burroughs ran into Napier, and it goes down the ice. This is Turnbull being watched by Lambert and Oul. The pass to the left side for Sittler at center. Here's Sittler going in. Sittler going to the far side, all the way with it. Darryl Sittler back to the net. He was bumped by Robinson. Oul was given a jolt by McDonald. And it's Lambert feeding it to the line, but not out. Turnbull's backhand shot is stopped. And the Canadians, Réjean Oul to center ice. He tried to hit Lambert with a lead pass. I went by him. And it's icing again against Montreal.
This gives us a chance, Dick, to look at that goal that Schutt was credited with a few moments, or LaRouche rather was credited with on the shot by Steve Schutt. What do you think?
Well, you can't tell there. LaRouche and Lafleur both waved at it. Now, follow the bouncing puck.
Well, I saw LaRouche kind of whack his stick on the ice and then raise his arm, signaling that he thought he scored it, so that's who they gave it to.
6:09 left. Montreal 6, Toronto 3. The Leafs took a 1-0 lead at the end of the first period. It's been all Montreal since. The Leafs came back for a moment, but the Canadians seem to be under control again as Schutt takes it from Lafleur. A dandy pass, and Palmetier stopped Mondu as a three-way passing play resulted in Mondu being in the clear for that shot.
Lafleur, with the 6 Montreal goals, has managed just 1 assist, I believe, is all that he has.
Oh,
2
I think
assists
he's got
or 1?
two
Oh,
here,
I'm sorry.
Oh, yes,
in the goal
and one on Schutt's goal. Even on a bad night, he gets 2 or 3 points, doesn't he?
Incredible.
Face off to the right of Palmetier. Hutchison for Toronto. Comes in front of the net, nearly hit Lafleur with that pass. Down the ice it goes. And Robinson for Montreal against Williams. The pass on the boards kept in by Kenville for Williams. Williams gets set, feeds it over in front. Salming was stopped. Williams after it again. A shot by Anderson. A wicked drive. Hit Dryden's stick and just missed. Now here Here's Williams and Robinson bumping together back of the net. The Canadians, Lafleur gets a pass on the right side for Mondu going in. With Shutt trailing, here's Shutt shooting. And that's stopped by the Leaf defenseman Hutchison, who brings it back out. Lafleur got back to stop his pass. Here's Lafleur in for a shot. It hit his skate. Lafleur back after it again. Williams is bumped by Chartrand, and Lafleur takes over. The Canadians, Engblom to center to Mondu. He was stopped. He has to circle at his own line with it. Mondu back up for Newman. He can't go anywhere against Kenville. Newman knocked down. Back come the Leafs, led by Dave Burrows. And it goes to Boutet. He centered it. Dryden stopped the pass out as he got a stick in front of it. 4:40 left in the game. This is Stamler making great moves. For Boutet, who centered it. Salming was covered. The pass didn't reach him. Now Savard. Around the net he goes. Savard on the boards for Connor. He gets it up to center ice. And it's Jarvis shooting it into the Leaf zone. Turnbull around the net. Turnbull's pass on the board, stopped by Connor. Connor left it. And Newman just flipped it in by Connor into the corner again. Burrows played it up on the left wing, and the Leafs trying to get organized. Stamler's pass goes to center ice down for Boutet. Here's Boutet over the line. He flipped it back. Wilson couldn't get a shot away. Boutet back on his skates as he fell, and the pass just went by in front of Dryden. Nobody was there. Comes back out to center ice with 3:50 left in the game. Montreal 6 and Toronto 3. Here's Savard. Backhands it up near the Leaf blue line, and Burrows ahead to Turnbull. Turnbull up over the line. He is stopped by Connor, and the Canadians. Lambert breaking out. He's all alone on this one. Took the shot, and it's grabbed by Paul Matier for Maloney. Here's Maloney's rink-wide pass. The Leafs changing on the goal. And it's Turnbull down on the left wing, too far for Maloney. That's Robinson back and icing against Toronto.
Well, let's hear more about the Challenge Cup Series coming up from one of the Soviet netminders, Mishkin.
Смотрите игру нашей сборной против всех звезд НХЛ по этому каналу. Это будет великолепная серия.
The series of the century for the Challenge Cup begins February 8th. Join us at Madison Square Garden for all the action.
Well, there's Steve Shutt on the Canadiens bench. That goal has been changed. Originally credited to Pierre LaRouche. It now is credited to Steve Shutt from Lafleur and LaRouche. Shutt now with a hat trick, 3 goals tonight.
Robinson, who has 2 goals for Canadians, fed a pass in. It's cleared up high on the glass, and McKechnie for the Leafs. Back of the net. Kenville out to Maloney. Maloney comes across his own line. A good move away from Uhl. Now Maloney has to go back. And it's Burrows nearly losing it. Maloney gets to center with McKechnie shooting it in off the boards. And Dryden cleared it ahead. Lambert. McKechnie stopped him. It's cleared back down the ice by Uhl. 2 minutes and 45 seconds left of the game. Montreal 6, Toronto 3. McKechnie knifed a pass down the ice, and Robinson has it. Here's Robinson and Chartrand. Chartrand to center. Look out. Mondu got out of the way of that heavy check by Kenville. He's been rather rough tonight, Kenville, on the Leaf defense. Robinson tries to bring it out, and he is stopped along the boards by Maloney, who stole it. Now Mondu going in with Lafleur. Mondu over the line, took a shot, and that's stopped by Paul Matier with 2:10 remaining. It's centered and went off Mondu's stick as Shutt got it back to him. Kenville from Sittler. Up across the line goes Hutchison. He lost it. The Canadians breaking in. Shutt breaking for the net. Waiting on goal, and he was stopped on a stick check by Paul Matier. Here's Guy Lafleur racing in. He tried to whip it back to Shutt and lost it. Shutt has it again. The Leafs can't move it out. Mondu looking around. Back it goes to the line, and it's kept in by Engblom. He was bumped by McDonald. Here's Mondu. Mondu for Lafleur. Hutchison intercepted, and he gave it to Sittler. Here's Sittler with a minute and a half left. Down to McDonald. McDonald winding up, and Dryden made a good save on that hard shot by McDonald. Right in front of the net it comes, and McDonald was covered by Savard. Lafleur couldn't move it out, but it's cleared finally by Jarvis. 1:15 left, 6-3 Montreal, and it's played in. The Leafs, Sittler got away from one check, then had it knocked off his stick to center ice, and it's fed ahead by Connor. Burrows shoots it back in off McDonald's stick. Dryden out of the net. A minute left to go in the hockey game. Montreal up by 3 goals. They have this one wrapped up, I think it's safe to say, as Connor goes in. Connor shoots it on the boards. Paul Mateer stopped it behind the net as the Canadians change. With a play continuing up the center is Williams. And Dryden stopped that long shot from Williams. 40 seconds left to play. And the pass went up high over the glass into the crowd. Nick, they're off to Washington after this.
Now the Canadians leave right after the game, play the Capitals there tomorrow night. And there you see the time left to play here in this one. 35 seconds. So Roger Nielsen still looking, Bob, for his first win against the Canadians in his 2 years as coach of the Maple Leafs. This will stretch it to 7 league games plus 4 playoff games.
Nick, you're talking about coaching, and it's easy to say that Scotty Bowman has a lot of talent, so therefore he is a successful coach. But the Canadians have had an awful lot of injuries this year, and even tonight, and he's manipulated these players just superbly. He's got to be one of the good ones, one of the great ones.
Obviously.
Scotty Bowman, and he'll take over for the NHL next week against the Soviets in that big series in New York. And I know the whole country will be watching. Right here on CBC. At center ice, Salming with 10 seconds left. Shooting it ahead and stopped by Uhl. Uhl goes up near the line with 5 seconds. He just tossed it into the Leaf zone. That'll do it as Hutchison takes it. And the bell goes. The game is over. The Canadians spotting the Maple Leafs a goal early in the game in the first period. 17:30 late in that first period by Salming. But then just completely took over and dominated throughout. Win going away. 6-3 Montreal. In just a moment, our 3-star selection. Ladies and gentlemen, here are tonight's Molson Cup 3 stars as selected by Hockey Night in Canada. The first star, Larry Robinson. The second star, Steve Shutt. And the third star, Mark Napier.
So even with a lot of their big players on the limp tonight, the Montreal Canadiens came through with a 6-3 decision over the Toronto Maple Leafs, who fought very well through the first period. After that, it was all Montreal. Final score, 6-3 Canadiens. And now let's go to our control center for an update of all the stories and scores around the National Hockey League.
Thank you, Brian. It was heartening to see the All-Stars, 9 of them, play so well in tonight's game. In fact, of 9 goals scored by the Canadians and the Leafs, players who will be performing for the NHL All-Star team next week accounted for 8 of them. The only non-All-Star to score tonight was Réjean Houle of the Canadians. Let's look at all the scores now. With Montreal beating the Leafs 6-3, the Leafs still haven't beaten the Canadians under coach Roger Nielsen. Vancouver over Washington 5-1, spoiling.
Political implications, it still amounts to an exhibition series. You've had a long, hard season already. How are you going to psych yourself up for some exhibition games?
Well, I'll be ready, and everyone will be ready, because it's very crucial to the maintaining the NHL standard of supremacy, and we have to do very well in this, and it's probably that's the way hockey's going to go in the future internationally. That seems to be the most interest right now, and I think it's headed that way.
Well, they're going to have a very distinct advantage over us, because they've been playing together right along, and you're going to be playing with guys you've been playing against. How much is that going to hurt us?
Well, it might have a bit of a problem, but I think that he'll try to keep the players. Won't be too much of a disadvantage for a goalie, because he has the same job, stop the puck, but he'll probably go with lines, put lines together from different teams, because they're familiar with each other, and this won't be too much of a deterrent.
Well, now let me see. You're going to be playing against teams, a team comprised of people you've never seen before. You've seen everybody in the National Hockey League. You more or less know what to expect when they come at you. How can you do any homework against a Russian team?
Well, I've played them before a few times, and I have an idea of how they play and their type of, shall we say, when they come in, they have a distinct way about them. In other words, they only shoot at the right time. They don't shoot from all over the ice, and they want to make the nice play most of the time. So this is what you look for. You don't want to be out of the net too far out of position against them.
Well, Tony, I want to thank you very much for giving us a few minutes. Best wishes in the series, and let's bring home some winners.
Thank you, Bud. I just hope that we do well, and I want to do well for the NHL, and I'm very appreciative to everyone that has selected me, and an honor from the people is just a wonderful thing.
Beating out, as I said, some very stiff competition. Thank you again, Tony.
Thank you.
Bud Kelly, let's get back now to Dave Hodge in Toronto.
Beginning with the man who remains a big question mark. Dennis Potvin from the New York Islanders did not dress for tonight's game against the Boston Bruins. Boreas Salming, who played well here for the Maple Leafs and has been playing perhaps his best hockey of the season in recent games. From the Colorado Rockies, Barry Beck, one of the top rookies in the National Hockey League last year. Again, injury means a question mark for Jim Schoenfeld with a knee injury tonight in Minnesota. He has been selected from the Buffalo Sabres. From the Washington Capitals, Robert Picard, who has played for Team Canada and has experience, despite his young age, against the Soviet Union. Two more defensemen making up a list of 7 were with us tonight at the Gardens and are with Brian McFarland right now. Serge Savard and Larry Robinson of the Canadiens. Brian?
Dave, we're going to count heavily on these two fellas in the forthcoming series. Look at all the injuries you have. Are you a little concerned, Serge, that defense might be the weak spot on this club?
Well, I don't know.
From a depth factor.
Personally, I played in all the series against the Russian, 72 and 76, including the game we played back about 3 years ago at the farm. And I think the Russian, the game's got to play in their own hand. It's not the defensive. They're very weak in their own hand. And I would say that's their only weak spot. And as long as we're trying to play most of the time in their own hand and forecheck them real good, I think we'll have a lot of success.
You agree with that, Larry? The weakness is in the Soviet zone?
Well, you have to agree with Serge. He's got a heck of a lot more experience than I have had. You know, he played in the 72 series, and I think, you know, personally speaking, the 72 team was much stronger than the team that we played against in the 76 Canada Cup series. But it is true, you know, if we plan to have any success, you know, against the Soviets, we're going to have to, you know, try to beat them in their end, which is their weakness. And it's up to the defense to move up quickly with the forwards and try to shut off the middle and not give them any scoring chances. We know that they're only going to take a shot on a good chance, and we have to cut out those chances.
How much do you know about the players individually? I know you've heard names and perhaps played against them in the past, but how much study can you give to a series like this when it comes to those opposing forwards?
Well, I mean, there are some that you don't know, but you know, having played in 3 or 4 games against them, you know, you've seen quite a few of them. The Mikhailovs, the Karmelov, Shadrin, a few of the other ones. I can't think of them offhand, but you know, I looked over the list the other day and I recognized quite a few of them. And we know one thing, that they can handle the puck, they can shoot the puck, and they can make great passes. So, you know, we're going to have to be at the top of our game. There's no doubt about that.
Serge, I'd like to ask you this. Who among all these all-stars that are going to go to New York next week, I mean, these are great professionals from the NHL. Who will be the players that will really pull the club together, be the team leaders, let's say the team captains?
Well, I guess we're going to need an 18 captain out there every game we got to play. You know, all those guys prove in the past that they're all-star hockey player, and I don't think just one guy can pick up the slack there and say this guy's going to lead this team. And that's exactly what happened on our club. You know, there's not only one leader, there's about 10 of them on our club, and I think everybody will have to give 100% out there.
Are both you fellas really looking forward to the Challenge Cup series?
Well, for me, you know...
not 1 month ago, eh?
No, not a month ago, not a couple of weeks, because we've been in a real dogfight for first place, and we haven't been really given the opportunity to think about it. But there's been a lot of talk and a lot of things said, you know, within the last week, and, you know, the nerves are starting to get a little shaky, but I'm really looking forward to it.
So are we, and it'll be all starting next week. Right now, let's go back to Dave Hodge.
And we'll continue looking at the NHL All-Star squad. Here are some of the forwards that the National Hockey League will have to count on. Scoring is important. There are many, many great scorers that will be playing for the NHL. The greatest, perhaps, is Guy Lafleur from the Montreal Canadiens, on top of the National Hockey League scoring race. Has done just about everything a man can do, and Guy would like to have a resoundingly successful series against the Soviets, something that he really has not had yet. Another big scorer, a man who might be playing to Guy's left on center with a line that would have Steve Shutt on the left side, Marcel Dion, centerman, Canada Cup member in 1976. Defensive forwards, you have to have them, and the Canadians' Bob Gainey was injured slightly, we are told tonight. He's one who will probably play every game, kill some penalties, and check the big right wingers on the Soviet squad. As well, another left winger and a great defensive player in the National Hockey League is Don Marcotte from the Boston Bruins. Brian was mentioning leaders. Well, I don't think it's too out of line to suggest that this man could be considered the captain of any Team Canada or Team NHL squad, Bobby Clarke, and of course he's played the Soviets since way back in 1972. There have been heroes for Canada in the NHL over the years, Darryl Sittler in 1976, and he'll be along again. And teamwork is mentioned as something that the NHL might lack, but there is certainly an element of teamwork wherever you look. Those two fellows from the Canadiens can play together on defense. There's Clark and Barber from the Flyers, Nilsson and Hedberg from the Rangers, Sittler and McDonald from the Leafs, but one line can be put together featuring players who played together all season long. And that line, of course, comes from the New York Islanders.